Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Tuesday, December 31st, 2024, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $, ORIONNWSF, or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got the college football playoff quarterfinal at the Vrbo Fiesta Bowl. Number 6, Penn State Nittany Lions versus number 3, Boise State Broncos. Let's fucking go. Last day of 2024. Happy New Year's Eve. Thank you for hanging out with your boy. And again, this is a very exciting day. We had a lot of good bowl action earlier today. And now we obviously are going to cap off New Year's Eve with a big college football playoff quarterfinal, Penn State and Boise State. And then it gets even better tomorrow with a few more matchups. Can't wait to see what we get here tonight. And let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get ready for the college football playoff. Let's get it, baby. Oh, baby. And on the thumb, on the left, Drew Alla. And on the right, the Boise State Bronco, the man that should have won the Heisman, Ashton Jeanty. Let's freaking go. I am ready. And we're off to a very good start. I like seeing this. Captain Oreo says, go Boise State, $12 holla. Appreciate you. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks. Little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. Let me know what you want to do for photos. If you want Genty photos, I gotcha. STL with a tenor. Let's get that dono train going with the two of you. I appreciate you. Go Ducks. Beat Ohio State. I'm hoping that we can end up doing that tomorrow. And I will be doing Ohio State versus Oregon in the Rose Bowl at 2 o'clock Pacific. Obviously, there's no one else that covers the Mariners or the Oregon Ducks like myself on YouTube. So, there's going to be a lot of people tuning in. And hopefully at the end of the day, we end up being victorious. Let me know what you want to do for photos as well. And I appreciate you. Megan in the building. How are you? Happy 2025. Let's go, baby. I am ready. Get some Genty photos sprinkled in here as we're going to get settled in. Kickoff will be in about 8, 9, 10 minutes. Thank you so much for your support and always getting off to a good start. And the faster that we can get to 20 likes, then we can hit the algorithm. And as you guys have seen on a few of the streams this year, some of them are going to be a couple hundred views. But if we end up getting the likes early on and the games end up being good, the streams have potential to hit 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, and even 15,000 views. So again, the faster that we can hit that number, the quicker that we're going to be able to get to where we want to go on a high, obviously, view look. Potentially get some subs here tonight, get the views, and hopefully we can hit a good number on the dono train. And you guys are starting it off on a good foot, so I like the start that we're going to get. And again, college football has always been great, but now it's even going to be better with the college football playoff extending these games into February, as when normally we would just be anticipating NFL and the NFL playoffs. Now we have the NFL playoffs and the college football playoffs. And what's better than, one football game for the NFL? How about some or a couple, on the college football side? I can't wait to see what we get here tonight as well as tomorrow. And then we obviously have 3 big ones tomorrow to cap off the college football playoff scenario, right? And it's going to all start early on. And let's get into the schedule here. Let me actually pull up the full scoreboard so I can give the correct times with everything that we got going on. But we have... Scroll down here. And let's see if it's going to bring it up here for me or not. All right, here we go. I had it all the way at the bottom. So tomorrow on January 1st, we're going to have Texas versus Arizona State at 10 a.m. Then you're going to have at 2 p.m. Ohio State and Oregon. And then after that game is over at 5:45, you're going to have Notre Dame and Georgia. Can't freaking wait. Let's go. And they're doing a little bit of the intros right now, getting the guys introduced to everyone in the stadium. And obviously, it's not a home field advantage like it was in the first round. I went 4 for 4 in my picks. Again, I'm not going to get every single prediction correct. I'm not going to get every pick correct. But again, had a feeling that the home teams were going to end up winning. And I hope that these next 4 games, 1 tonight and 3 tomorrow, end up being close. But remember, this is the college football playoff. There's 6 teams that could have won it all. And then there's 6 teams that were more than likely going to get eliminated. And still to this day, you only got 6 teams that can win it all. Oregon, Texas, Georgia, Penn State, Ohio State, Notre Dame. That's it. No disrespect to Boise State, okay? No disrespect to Arizona State. No disrespect to, some of these other teams. But the reality is, out of the 8 teams that are left, Boise State and Arizona State are good this year, but they're not good enough to go all the way. But you never know. This is the college football playoff. We haven't had an upset yet. Could this be the first upset here in 2024 in this particular college football playoff? Or maybe it'll be Arizona State versus Texas. Highly unlikely, but you never know until the games are actually played. I'm ready for this one, baby. See if I can sprinkle in a couple more genties, and then we'll get STL's photos. Appreciate you. And we'll sprinkle in quite a few throughout the stream as well, but this is good to kind of already have them prepped in here. So that way that's less work that I have to do on the fly. But happy New Year's Eve. Happy birthday to my dad. Called him earlier today. That last photo was not up to my standards, so we'll have to do that one there. And let's see if I can find maybe one more. Like an action shot here. Here we go. But it just kind of feels like, this game could be a blowout if Ashton Jeanty doesn't have a monster game. Same thing with Arizona State and Texas. If Scatterbo and Jeanty can go off for 2 or 3 touchdowns each and over 150 yards, they're going to have a chance. But if they don't score 2, 3, 4 times each, I don't really see any scenario in my head that Boise State wins this game, as well as Arizona State tomorrow. Now, do I love Scatterbo? Do I love Ashton Jeanty? Absolutely. And again, you got a guy on the other side, Miss Swiss Army knife, Tyler Warren, who's kind of like a Taysom Hill on the Saints here in college football. It's going to be very, very hard to stop him, but man, I am excited here about today. Shout out to Captain with the 12er, STL with the 10er. You let me know what you want. If you want me to put up duck photos, I can do that. If you want something, on a personal level, you can let me know, and I got you. Appreciate you very, very much. Oh, he says Reggie Bush. Now, do you want Reggie Bush at USC? Reggie Bush at, the Nittany Saints? What Reggie Bush would you like? Reggie Bush from high school? Let me know what you want for Reggie Bush. Yeah, I watched, and 4 touchdowns from one receiver was badass. I actually messaged Reflect, but he was busy earlier today. But to go for 2-point conversion at the end was kind of the reason you guys lost. And again, a lot of coaches and teams that were down in that game, the whole game, down by 14, you had to kind of crawl and scratch and fight your way back. I get it. If you would have gotten that 2-point conversion, maybe you win the bowl game and everything is easy peasy lemon squeezy. But I think just being down that whole game, I would have just, taken the extra point and seen what would have maybe possibly happened. And you still could have lost in the overtime, but I just thought that was kind of a crappy way to kind of end it, to go for 2 and not get it after how hard the Huskies fought back. But you guys played with a hell of a lot of pride. The backup played very, very well. He did have that pick 6 early, but then settled in with some throwing touchdowns and obviously some rushing touchdowns as well. But again, it hasn't really been the Huskies' year. But on the flip side, Michigan, for all of us that thought that Indiana and some of these other teams shouldn't have gone in over Alabama. Well, Alabama and Miami, they might have been the intriguing options. Both of those teams lost in the college football bowl games. So maybe, we should have been saying, hey, the Big Ten is a little bit better than people think. The Big Ten owns the SEC. The Big Ten is the new powerhouse. And maybe they should have invited Michigan, even with their, so-and-so record with all those losses, but they were playing better football late than a lot of these other teams that are in the college football playoff or in the bowl games right now. And, Alabama fought back And the weather was really rough early on with that downpour in Tampa. But again, Milroe did not look very good. Michigan's defense had a bunch of guys out, and they still won the game. Shout out to Michigan for getting it done over Alabama. Big Ten is king. Let's go. We're at 22. Let's get to a hundo. Sarah in the building. What's good? I appreciate that. And I'll get you the Reggie Bushes here in a moment. MSU in the building. What's good? All right, baby, let's go. See if I can sprinkle at least one Reggie Bush in here for STL before we really get all the action going here. Appreciate you. And he was magnificent at USC and on the Nittany Saints. Here we go. Hand off up to Genty, right up the gut. Penn State says not today. Big defensive play there to start off the game from the Nittany Lions. Gosh, and I love college football. And then now to have games that are more important than just, the actual bowl games. What I'm thinking that they need to do, and you guys can let me know what you guys think, as far as prestige, right? You have the Fiesta Bowl, you have the Rose Bowl, you have the Sugar Bowl, you have these other bowls that are out there. I feel like the Rose Bowl is the most prestigious. Maybe we should end up making the Rose Bowl the championship game to keep the prestige going. Instead of just having it being a part of the quarterfinal, maybe we should make the Rose Bowl the new Super Bowl of college football. What do you guys think? I'm thinking that would be something that not only Pac-12, Pac-10, Pac-8, teams would appreciate, Big Ten, but also I think the SEC would, feel some pride with that as well, even though they typically play like in the Sugar Bowl. But I just feel like out of all the bowl games, that is the one that's the most prestigious, and we want to make sure that we're, keeping college football on a pedestal to a certain degree, especially with this new college football playoff. And, again, I feel like Fiesta's pretty big, Sugar is pretty big, but again, if you had to choose one bowl game to be the biggest, to me, it's the Rose Bowl. It has the most significance, regardless on, if this is the championship game or not. Hand off by Genty up the middle, and a short gain again by Ashton Genty. 2nd down and 7 on the Boise State 40. Here we go, shotgun set. Floater, he's open. First down, Broncos, move the chains. But I was really proud of how Michigan played with all of those injuries and ended up showing that the Big Ten is boss, even for a team that doesn't have that many wins. 9-4 Alabama, 8-5 Michigan. It shows you, even though Michigan had a rough year, they still ended up finishing very strong against Ohio State and Bama. Shout out to Michigan and doing what they do. Illinois beating South Carolina. Big Ten is king. And I just wish Washington could have beat Louisville there from the ACC so we could get another Big Ten win in the bowl games. LSU 44, Baylor 31. And again, we're not going to be able to win them all, but again, we have certain games that are going to mean something, obviously, moving forward. And, it's nice to be able to see the advancement of the Big Ten, showing that they are the true kings in college football. Let's go. So you got the Peach Bowl, right? You got the Rose Bowl, and you got the Sugar Bowl, and then the Fiesta Bowl. Obviously, Peach Bowl is the lowest, right, as far as like the big bowl games. Rose Bowl is the biggest. And then I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think the Fiesta is second to the Rose Bowl, or is it the Sugar? Because usually that's SEC teams. Maybe Sugar Bowl is second, and then Fiesta's third, or Fiesta's second, Sugar is third. You can pretty much alternate either one, Fiesta or Sugar. I guess it really depends on what kind of fan you are. You know, if you're an SEC fan, you're going to say Sugar. But if you're any other type of fan, maybe you say Fiesta. But we'll see how it all kind of plays out. But definitely the Rose Bowl should be the the elite game at the end, for the championship. Doesn't have to be Pac-12 or Big Ten teams, you know what I mean? All right, one sec here. Field goal is up. And no good. Wow. That's the start that you wanted for Penn State. 45-yard field goal missed. Shanked it bad, too. Yeah, but Cotton Bowl isn't bigger than the Fiesta. It's like Rose Bowl, Sugar Bowl, Fiesta, Rose Bowl, Fiesta, Sugar. Those are the three biggest. I think Fiesta, to me, kind of feels like, what we're doing in the Rose Bowl this year. It's kind of like a semifinal game. And then, like, Sugar should be like the runner-up. That should be like the new Rose Bowl, the Sugar Bowl, like the runner-up game, like third best team or whatever. And then the last game of them all should be the Rose. I think that would be something that hopefully, that they'll pay attention to some of the, college football committee and the fans, and they end up making the Rose Bowl the last game of the year. 0-0 Penn State and Boise State. All right, see if I can get a couple more Reggie Bushes up here for STL. We're at 22:78 to go. Appreciate you. Trying to sprinkle in as many photos as I can for the donos on the dono train. Appreciate you, my guy. Let's go, baby. Penn State, your turn. Let's go. All right, baby, let's go. Daniel in the building. What's good? Third down and 2 on the Penn State 36. Man in motion. Handoff. Breaking one tackle and another. First down. Nittany Lions. Move the chains. Allen with a run for 9 yards to the Penn State 45. First down. Nittany Lions. Singleton run for 8 yards to the Boise State 47. Let's go. Keep pounding that rock. There we go. Singleton. Pound the rock, pound the rock, pound the rock. First down. Nittany Lions. Move the chains. I mean, if they can't stop it, keep going after them. And again, they got capable running backs on both sides. Obviously, one's a little bit bigger of a name than the other, but I wouldn't take Singleton for granted. First down and 10 on the Boise State 44. Oh my, look at this run. Wow. Breaking away. Nice cutback. Fighting for those extra yards. First down, Nittany Lions. Move the chains, and you can definitely feel that the score is just approaching. Let's go. First down and 10 on the Boise State 21. I mean, they haven't even really had to throw the ball yet, and once that starts happening with Tyler Warren and everyone else, watch out. Come on, baby. Give me 1 sec. Come on, baby. Touchdown, Nittany Lions. Tyler Warren, 11-yard receiving TD. You could just feel it. You knew it was coming. And there it is. Mr. Taysom Hill. Oh, baby. Nice job. This one could get ugly. Again, if Genty doesn't score, 2, 3, 4 times, he's probably going to have to score 3 or 4 times to win this game. And even if he scores that many, it might not be enough. But that might be the only way that, they could actually keep it close. And if Genty only scores once or twice, they might get routed by 14 or more. Extra point is up and good. 7-0 Nittany Lions. Nice job, Tyler Warren. Nice to be able to see another dominant tight end like we had Brock Bowers last year. And we saw the emergence of Trey McBride as well. Nice to be able to see Tyler Warren doing Tyler Warren things. All right, Genty, your turn. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help your boy out. All right, here we go. Caples with the return. Coming up, Ashton Genty. I'm just bouncing around from, everything to make sure, everything that I have stat page wise and link wise is, up to the standard. And, sometimes, when you have streaming links that go away and others that are slower than others, you want to make sure that you're, on point with whatever you have, whether that's cable or satellite, or if you're watching through your ESPN through your cable provider, if you end up going through a streaming link, it's kind of one of those things where, even when you end up having it, through TV or through satellite, or if you end up doing it through like Peacock, you might not be getting it as fast as you think compared to others around the country. And sometimes I'll even just kind of play around a little bit and look around on like different links and then go into my living room and compare, what my live TV is on Comcast in the living room compared to some of the links. And you would assume the links would be a lot slower, 15 seconds, 30 seconds slower, but sometimes they're on the same pace as TV, sometimes even faster. So you got to kind of look around sometimes and try to be able to find the one that's going to work the best for you. But every once in a while, I'll find something that is faster than even my TV. I don't know how that's possible. But again, depending on where you're located, how you're watching, your internet connection, there's a lot of different factors, but I think I'm good to go now. I was having issues on the other one there in the first quarter, so that's why I had to pause up for a second and I had to kind of look around, but I think the one that I have now might be best. So and sometimes you'll even find faster ones on YouTube rather than the streaming links. Sometimes everything is going to be like overseas and whatnot, but as long as the link matches and everything is good, you should be good to go. So But I think everything is good. And the only crappy thing also too, about like streaming links and other links that you use, the buffering, if it ends up dropping and then you have to fucking hustle to be able to, try to find another one. It definitely, can be challenging at times for a lot of us that love to be able to watch sports, and some things might not be local for us, and some of us might have cable or satellite, others do not. I mean, I feel like a lot of people used to have cable and satellite in a home telephone, but a lot of those things don't really exist for a lot of people anymore. And then they also had two big streaming links that ended up getting shut down. There's a rumor that, this individual might be back next year in 2025, but two of the biggest are shut down right now. So I know a lot of people are going to be scrounging. Big tackle there by Penn State on Genty. But I know a lot of people are going to be scrambling, looking for other options when they, typically use those links normally. But again, I'm always going to be bouncing around to see what's going to be the best. And sometimes even going to YouTube and trying to find the game there might be even better than some of those other streaming links. 2nd down and 12 on the Boise State 23. And I feel like with the YouTube links that are on there, they're faster. It's as close as to live TV that I've found. Shotgun set. Pressure coming. Flag on the play. Scrambling. Gambling. Sideline. And complete. Holding call. Hi, Paisley. You need to eat your lunch, honey. Do you have an internet service or do you only got Wi-Fi? Third down and 12 on the Boise State 23. Because I always want to make sure that I'm researching and looking at every option that I have: cable, satellite, streaming links, YouTube links, through the ESPN, through your cable provider. Any way that you go, I mean, everyone's going to be a little bit off. Not everyone is going to be exactly where we're at. Third down and 12. Go, baby, go. Trying to avoid that sack lunch, but Penn State's defense is too stifling. 4th down. You're in a remote area? Oh, okay, I got you. All right, we need 5 more likes to be able to get to 10, 15 to get to 20. Now 3 more to go to get to 10, and then we'll be on our way. False start on that punt group. 4th down and 16 now. We're at 22:78 to go. Happy New Year's Eve and happy birthday to my dad. There's 2 people that are my heroes that I look up to, my dad and Ken Griffey Jr., as everyone knows. And I hope he ends up having a fantastic birthday today. I ended up calling him this morning. He's going to end up going to one of his friends for a little New Year's Eve get-together. But he's not going to stay too late because he knows Oregon plays tomorrow and doesn't want, he doesn't really drink anymore, so I don't have to worry about that or worry about him. But he'll end up being home probably by midnight or maybe even sooner than that. That way that he can, make sure he gets plenty of rest, and knowing that the college football playoff games start tomorrow early, 9, 10 a.m. tomorrow with Texas and Arizona State. Again, no matter what happens, if you stay out late or not, the Oregon-Ohio State game isn't until 2 Pacific, 4 Central, 5 Eastern. So even if you do get hammered or you end up having plans and you don't really feel that good in the morning, you'll still have some time to recoup before the Rose Bowl between the Buckeyes and the Ducks. Can't wait, man. Happy early birthday to your mama. When we get a couple Tyler Warrens on here. Yeah, and I like Tyler Warren a lot. He kind of reminds me of like Taysom Hill and George Kittle in one body. He's got the energy and the swagger of like a George Kittle and the athleticism, but then he can do everything like Taysom Hill. You know, you can line him up at tight end, fullback, running back, wide receiver. You know, you could really line them up on the offensive line, which they have as well. So, you know, no matter what happens, you know that Tyler Warren is going to bring it, and he kind of gives you that flexibility that he can do anything, kind of the same kind of feeling that we have with Travis Hunter, right? Or guys like in the NFL this year on the Lions that we were talking about, in the most electric players in the NFL. I think the top two are both on the Lions. Jahmyr Gibbs 1 and Jamison Williams 2. And when you have guys like that, you can score in any possible way, and then that makes you more deadly in the offensive playbook, and it's a nightmare for defensive coordinators when you got guys like that. Let's go, baby. But it's cool to be able to see new tight ends come in, and you know, we are getting some of the OGs that are getting a little old, right? Kelsey, Kittle, Andrews, right? You know, obviously Ertz used to be good, and he's still a good role player, but he's not top 3 anymore, right? And then obviously you got the kind of the new breed with Kyle Pitts struggling early in his career, but maybe we'll have a connection with Michael Penix Jr., you know, and then you got Trey McBride, you got Brock Bowers. So this next generation of tight ends coming in, I'm really liking what I'm seeing, and Trey McBride got some game as well. First down and 10. Steps up in the pocket and lowers his shoulder, gets a few yards on that particular run. Looks like about 3. Second down and 7 on the Penn State 47. And if anyone needs a link, if they're not watching it on you know, cable or satellite, let me know. Like I said, I go through many different ones, and right now I'm on YouTube. But again, I was earlier in the first quarter trying to go through and see which ones would work the best through ESPN, through my cable provider, you know, through the app, going through the streaming links, even though some of the big ones got taken down yesterday. Now there's still a few left, but it looks like there's a little bit of a lag and also buffering. I don't like that. So sometimes when I have too much buffering, you know, when I'm looking at that, I have to go to usually YouTube, and, you know, sometimes you'll have someone that's in a foreign country, you know, streaming the game, and you won't have any issues there. Decent game there for Allen. 6 yards there. Yeah, well, Carson Beck obviously wasn't even really good enough to begin with, and then to, you know, be injured and then go and enlist to the NFL, going long, going deep. Touchdown, Nittany Lions! I'm telling y'all, Nittany Lions are too much. The Big Ten is the best super conference in college football. We are the standard. And again, Oregon, right? Ohio State, right? Penn State, right? And then on top of all of that, right, you still got teams like Michigan that can have 4, 5, 6 losses, still compete in Ohio State, and still beat Alabama at the end of the year. Big Ten is fucking king. And it's not like I don't, you know, respect Boise State, or I don't respect Arizona State going against Texas tomorrow. But the reality is, I mean, there's a couple good teams, Georgia and Texas in the SEC, but there's better quality, obviously, in the Big Ten. And obviously, you're seeing it here tonight. Extra point is up and good. 14-0 Nittany Lions, and I kind of felt that this was the way that it was going to go. Don't be surprised if this ends up being a blowout. And again, same thing tomorrow with Texas and Arizona State. Again, if Genty and Scadaboo do not score 3 touchdowns or more and 150 yards, there's no chance. So again, it's like you have to have an extreme performance by Scadaboo and Genty, but then not only that, you have to have the quarterbacks play well, and the defenses have to, you know, make some plays. They have to get some turnovers, pick sixes, fumbles for touchdowns, strip sacks, punch outs, Charles Peanut Tillman. And when you're going against teams like Texas and Penn State, it's not very likely. These teams are good. Boise State and Arizona State, they won the Big 12. Boise State has been great. They only ended up losing by 3 to Oregon, so they were right there. But at this point of the season, the Big 10 is a little bit too much. But I'm just hoping that Boise State doesn't just roll over and die. We want a good game, so hopefully we get a big 60-yard Genty touchdown to answer back, so that way it's 14-7, and then we can still feel kind of good about the game. We don't want the game to be over with 3:35 left in the first quarter, even though it kind of feels like that might be the case. And like I mentioned, there's only 6 teams that can win it all. Oregon, Texas, Georgia, Ohio State, Penn State, Notre Dame, nobody else. No disrespect to Boise State or Arizona State, but they're not in the same category as the other 6. And then obviously the other, teams that the other 4 that already got eliminated. So, and we'll see how it all plays out. We might end up having Oregon, Ohio State, then Oregon, Texas, and then maybe Oregon, Penn State in the Natty. Or maybe Oregon and Georgia in the Natty if it ends up coming to that, but you have to earn it. All right, here we go. Shotgun set. Little check down. A little button hook there for about half of the yardage. Looks like about 6 yards. Second down and 4 on the Boise State 31. $14-0 Nittany Lions. Second down and 3 on the Boise State 32. Shotgun set. Snap is low. Genty gets it. Good vision. Nice cutback. There we go. We want to make sure that we're entertained through Boise State, and it's always nice to be able to see a smaller school, have some success and whatnot. So. All right, one sec. All right, here we go. First down and 10. Genty again, bouncing it to the outside. But also, too, on the YouTube side, sometimes those will end up, having issues as well. So, no matter what connection that you have, internet-wise or where you go, you definitely have to. And that's kind of the sad part about a couple of the streaming sites, going down, because the ones that ended up going down or being taken down, those were the most reliable. And obviously, sports fans are not too happy about that, but hopefully he'll be back in 2025. Genty with the fumble towards the sideline. Look at that awareness of trying to get that fumble here towards the sideline. Happy New Year. Yeah. Including the one that I was watching temporarily. So I always have more than one up at all times. So that way, just in case if something fails, I'm going to have a streaming link. I'm going to have YouTube. I'm going to have all of them up. But yeah, hopefully there'll be others. But again, that's just the problem, man, with streaming links, and especially when you have, ones that are reliable and then they go away, people are going to be scrambling, because again, things are expensive, with all the different streaming links that are out there. So it's like, you got to be able to have so many. But look at that defensive play by Boise State on the sideline. Genty fumbling is a rarity. And not only that, to be recovering it right at the sideline, that's what great teams do. Amazing. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. Big turnover. Look at this right here. So I'm going to run the little, I'm going to run a little RPO right here, but the connection wasn't good between the quarterback and the running back with the exchange, and that is a quarterback's worst nightmare, seeing the ball on the ground. And there's definitely going to be, a corner, a safety, a DN nearby, and Boise State lucks out and doesn't have to worry about anything at the moment. They get the ball back after the Genty fumble. Man, they are lucky. Madsen, throw to the sideline. There we go. Seems like they start to get a little bit of momentum there. You mean SVU, not SUV? SUV, a vehicle. SVU, a different thing. 14-0, Penn State. Come on, baby. I hate having to scramble. Scrambling is the worst. Second down and 12 on the Boise State 47. Loss of 2 yards there by Genty. I don't blame you. Genty run there for 1 yard to the Boise State 48. And end of the first quarter, 14-0 Penn State. I would like to say that I'm surprised, but I'm not. I was hoping that, Boise State would, have at least a field goal or possibly a touchdown in the first quarter. But again, that is the difference between the top tier teams and the others, even though Boise State has a 3 next to their name and Penn State has a 6. Good start for Penn State, and hopefully Boise State will be able to respond. On your PS5. I'm going to go check up on my pop here real quick while we're at commercial. Give me 1 sec. 14-0, Nittany Lions. All right, I'm back. All right, here we go. Third down and 11. Madsen scrambling, gambling, floater, got a man. 1-on-2, and almost intercepted. Fourth down and 11 at the Boise State 48. Yeah, if you're having problems, Captain, to be able to find, different links, as you know, on the YouTube side, things will be taken down. Streaming links, are going to be better than YouTube. But again, it's, being able to find the right one that doesn't buffer all the time. And, let alone being too far behind in the game and whatnot. And some of them are going to be close, 5 to 15 seconds off. Others will be about 30 seconds behind. But really it comes down to, it's like, I don't want to have to refresh or change locations every few minutes. That gets hella annoying. Aller run for 1 yard to the Penn State 11. Second down and 9. Okay. If you, like I said, if you ever need anything, I can let you know. But like I said, I think a lot of people across the globe are going to be scrambling, because the two biggest streaming links are no longer up right now. So, and those ones were the fastest and the most reliable for all sports. And they even had, wrestling and boxing and football, everything, and again, if you know, but shotgun set, play action. Tyler Warren breaking off one tackle and almost getting a first down. What a fucking animal. Nice job. 8-yard gain. Guys like Taysom Hill in the college ranks, I fucking love it. Third down and 1 on the Penn State 19. Yeah, but I'll be able to, like I said, I have multiple stat pages and it's, I got multiple links and game, footage on. It's just a matter of trying to find something that's going to be the smoothest. Third down and 1. Well, third down and 3. Oh, Aller, what are you doing? What was that? Terrible play call there. What was that? Pass incomplete. Fourth down. That was a terrible play call. What was that? Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 20 within the first hour and a half, 30 to 50 overall. And obviously we'll be shooting for 100 in the donos on every single stream. Happy New Year's Eve. Penn State with the punt. Boise State with the return. Go. Go. Hit the hole. Hit the hole. Go. Sideline. Wow, he's breaking some tackles there. Good return. 53-yard punt with a decent return there. Jones returns for 19 yards. No worries. Have a good rest of your day if you end up not being back. All right, baby. First down and 10 at the Boise State 48, 14-0 Nittany Lions. And if you're just tuning in to the broadcast, Drew Aller passed to Tyler Warren for 11 yards at Tutty to make it 7-0 early on in the first quarter, and Aller to Evans for a 38-yard TD, 14-0 Penn State. And the bowl games today overall were pretty good. I was really hoping Washington was going to find a way to get the dub, but I ended up watching all of them. Starting from this morning, I took an early walk with my pup and was ready right at 9 a.m. to watch Alabama and Michigan. There was a downpour. There was 3 fumbles or turnovers for Alabama within the first 10 snaps. So I already knew that they were in trouble. Michigan ended up winning 19-13, but Bama and Milroe had a chance with the last possession in the fourth. But Michigan's defense came to play, and they ended up getting the big stop. Louisville 35, Washington Huskies 34. The Huskies were down the whole game, and for them to be able to, pretty much get to a point where they could have tied it up, one receiver for them ended up having 4 touchdowns alone receiving, which was incredible. And again, they had a choice to be able to go for the 2 or, just go for the overtime, and they decided to go for 2, and it was incomplete. But Giles Jackson, 11 receptions, 161 yards, 4 receiving touchdowns for the Huskies for Desmond Williams. And Damon Williams ended up doing a pretty good job. And then you ended up having Illinois winning 21-17 over South Carolina, LSU beating Baylor 44-31, and then obviously we're here today with the Penn State, Boise State in the college football playoff quarterfinal. And it's going to get juicy tomorrow, 10 a.m., Texas and Arizona State, ESPN, Ohio State, Oregon, right after that at 2. That's what we're going to stream tomorrow, Buckeyes and my Ducks. And then we're going to do Notre Dame and Georgia is going to be right after that. Now, if I had a little bit of separation in time between the Oregon game and the Georgia-Notre Dame game, I would do both. But as soon as the Oregon game ends, the next game starts 5 minutes later. So I'm not going to have enough time to be able to prep and whatnot. But I definitely will be watching. All right, here we go. Genty trying to bounce it to the outside, but Penn State's defense is very fast. 6-yard gain, 2nd down and 4 on the Penn State 46. Maddox-Madsen complete to Genty, 17 yards to the Penn State 29. First down, Broncos. Let's go. Got to get him in space. There you go. Handoff, back to Genty again. Breaks one tackle, breaks another, keeps those feet pumping, legs moving. 6-yard gain, 2nd down and 4 on the Penn State 22. And it feels like finally that Boise State's going to get at least a field goal. But again, we'll see if anybody can get loose for them to get in the end zone besides Genty. They got to be able to use Genty in more creative ways. It just can't be halfback dives and counters. You're going to have to run jet sweeps, reverse, bubble screens, hook and ladder. You want to make sure you're mixing it up a little bit and not just doing a traditional, run up the gut. And again, fumble! That's Genty's 2nd fumble. But Penn State is so fast on defense. I know a lot of people would, talk about how good Boise State has been on both sides of the ball. Their defense likes to fly around, but the only problem is Penn State's defense likes to fly around just as much as Boise State's, and they have more athletes on that side of the ball. So the last thing that you need is your best player to be fumbling, and that Charles Peanut Tillman punching that football out, putting that mitt right on the football, and that's not a good sign for Bronco fans. 2 early fumbles, 1 lost, and one recovered by the Broncos. Come on, Genty. If you want your draft stock to still be good, you can't be fumbling in the biggest moments. Let's go. Duba, 3 yards. First down, Broncos. Loss of 4 yards. Second down and 14 to the Penn State 20. Come on, baby. Madsen pass complete to Lauder, 12 yards. Third down and 2 on the Penn State. What is it, 6-yard line, 8-yard line? They're getting close. Third down and 2. They got to get it in. Third down and 2. Handoff right up the gut. Good play call. Touchdown, Broncos. Yes. There we go. They may not win this game, but at least they're fighting. And then to go away from Genty, that was a beautiful play call. Obviously for Genty, you want him to be able to have as many touchdowns and as many yards as possible. But with 2 fumbles in the game already, sometimes you need to pivot, and then Genty can be a decoy. And that's exactly what he was. Everyone was looking at Genty. They decided to go, with the backup there with Tyler, and he crows it in all the way for the tutty. Nice job. Extra point is up and good. Good 8-play touchdown drive. Good adjustment there by the Broncos to make this a game. The last thing that we want is it to be 17-0, 20-0, 21-0. Like, we just want to have a little bit of faith that, Boise State can at least, hang around. They are the higher seed, right? But we all know in reality, Penn State's the better team. They should be the 3 and Boise State should be the 6. And we already know the College Football Committee, definitely made mistakes, by having Oregon and Ohio State play, in this, quarterfinal, because arguably some people think that those are the 2 best teams in college football right now. And that's kind of hard to argue. Some people will say, Oregon and Texas, or some others might say Oregon and Ohio State. But regardless, if you don't think Ohio State is number 2, they can't be any lower than 3 or 4. They're right there with Penn State, and maybe Texas is better, but again, I think those are the 4 best, as at least playing right now. You want to put Georgia in the category, but they do have a backup quarterback. Offense isn't as good as they traditionally have been, as well as their defense. And Notre Dame, we know Notre Dame is a little bit better this year than expected, but can they beat Georgia? We don't really know. Georgia's a little bit weaker. Notre Dame's a little bit better than traditionally, but at the end of the day, I think I trust Kirby Smart in that defense a little bit more than the Notre Dame players, even though I do like some of them that are on the team. But, we'll have to wait until tomorrow to see what we end up getting in that matchup. We're at 22, 78 to go. Let's go, baby. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Help your boy out. We need 2 more likes to get to 10, 12 more to get to 20. So if you are in the room and haven't smashed that like button yet, looks like we have half of the people in there. Do your boy a solid. It'll help us get into the algorithm and get more people here in the room. Appreciate you. Yeah, let's keep track of the likes and the donos in the chat, and hopefully we can continue to get some more people in here, and hopefully we'll have links that don't go down, and everything will be good to go. Regardless on how you're watching it. But, very rare to see Genty fumbling twice, but I'm not too surprised because, again, when you're playing against a stifling defense, like a Penn State or like an Oregon, we have enough players on that side of the ball as well as Georgia and Texas where we can punch the football out and, the defense can win the game on their own. Oregon can do it. Texas can do it. Georgia can do it. Penn State, Ohio State, even Notre Dame. Every single of the top 6 teams that have a chance to go all the way besides Arizona State and Boise State. And I'm not saying Arizona State and Boise State's defense is terrible. It's not. But I just don't think it's on the same level as some of the others. But I'm really happy that they ended up making that adjustment, using Genty as a decoy, and then getting into the end zone with, their backup there. Good defense there by the Broncos on 2nd down and 7. 3rd down and 6 at the Penn State 27. Allen with a loss of 1. Warren, Evans with the 2 touchdowns for the Nittany Lions, and Crow getting in there for an 8-yard tutty as Genty being a decoy after the 2 fumbles. 1 lost and 1 recovered. 3rd down and long for the Nittany Lions. Injury timeout here at the College Football Playoff Quarterfinal Vrbo Fiesta Bowl. I mean, I'm always excited for college football bowl games, but this college football playoff, man, it's got everyone on a whole nother kind of excitement level. We're already going to be excited about the NFL. We don't really know how many upsets there are going to be. Still feels like there's only 4 or 5 teams that really have a shot, right? You got 3 teams in the NFC now. Vikings, they are worthy. Detroit, Philadelphia, and then obviously Buffalo and Kansas City. And I'm not really sure if we can add any other teams to that list as of today. And then obviously if Minnesota beats Detroit, then, we're going to have to start giving Minnesota a little bit more love where, they might do the impossible, where we're always talking about Detroit and we're always talking about Philly. What happens if Minnesota, with their top-tier defense, somehow, some way, gets past those 2 teams and represents the NFC in the Super Bowl? It's not likely for that to happen, but remember, Minnesota's defense is top tier this year. So if they do accomplish that feat, Detroit's defense is banged up. Philly obviously has Jalen Hurts injured and a few others. Anything is possible in the NFL. That's facts. But that would be shocking if Minnesota ends up representing the NFC, though. I don't know if anyone has that, as one of their scenarios, but. Oh, my boy, watching at work. Let's go. Marcos Pineda. He's at work. Is he working? Yeah, he's working watching me at the game, baby. Let's go. He's got the game on. He's got the stream on. That's my boy. Marcos Pineda at work representing. Really the only one here in Oregon that will really, like and share, my content and whatnot. You get a lot of people that say that they'd watch and they share, but I can see all the analytics and the stats and whatnot. Shout out to my boy Marcos Pineda, my OG OG, man. We are on kind of different schedules, and with everything that we got going on, but hopefully Marcos is living his best life, and hopefully we'll get together sooner than later. Appreciate you, my guy. 14-7, Nittany Lions. All right, 8:10 left in the second quarter. Third down and 8 at the Penn State 27. Shotgun set for Drew Aller. Trips right. Audible at the line. Changes the protection with the center. Man in motion. Shotgun set. Aller on third down and 8. The pocket collapses. Floater. And he overthrows his target, but Tyler Ward is held. That's a flag, and that should be an automatic first down. Defensive holding there on Benefield. First down, Nittany Lions. First down and 10, and then was it a false start? Yeah, false start. 5-yard penalty there. First down and 15 on the Penn State 32. Wake up. Allen run for 6 yards to the Penn State 38. Second down and 10 on the Penn State 37. Nice. Allen, Singleton. They got to make sure they're, distributing the rock appropriately. Not today, bots. My trigger finger is fast. Another false start. Come on, Penn State. Jesus. Are you trying to win this game, or are you trying to give it away? Another bot, another false start. What do you know? 6:58 left here in the second quarter before halftime. 14-7, Nittany Lions. Self-inflicted wounds. We know you're the better team, but again, you don't want to give Boise State a chance to hang around, because if you do, you could lose. Nine more to get to 20. Let's get there. That way we can hit the algorithm. Let's go. Sacked. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Bam. Third down and 27. Boise State starting to wake up. Uh-oh. Oh, my. Third and forever. Pass incomplete to Wallace. 8-yard gain. Fourth down and 19. Well, they're going to have to punt. Great momentum there by the Broncos. Kind of impose their will right there. You can kind of feel it now. Now, if they can get a touchdown with Genty and they can tie it up at halftime, who knows what could happen in the second half. But a pretty good first quarter for Penn State. Boise State looks like they're gaining the momentum here and winning the second quarter. But again, if they really want to impose their will, 2 touchdowns for Penn State in the first. Let's get 2 touchdowns for Boise State in the second. And let's go into halftime at a 14-14 game. Nittany Lions with the punt. Kind of a line drive. Very weird bounce there towards the sideline. Not a great punt. Boise State in pretty good field position already on the Boise State 39. They don't have to get too many first downs to get into field goal range. Madsen pass incomplete. Second down and 10 on the Boise State 39. Come on, Maddox. You got to be more on point with your receivers there. Second down and 10 on the Boise State 39. Texas, Arizona State tomorrow at 10 a.m. Ohio State and Oregon at 2. Notre Dame and Georgia at 5:45. One of the best days of the new year. Happy New Year's Eve. And New Year's Day is just right around the corner, baby. Let's go. We're approaching the 5-minute number. Genty run for 2 yards at the Boise State 41. Third down and 8 at the Boise State 41. And again, just running right up the gut, for Genty. He's able to get massive yards against shitty defenses all year. And he was also able to rip up good defenses like Oregon's this year in the early part of the season. But in this particular matchup, I don't like all these, dives and counters. I want to see him bounce to the outside, let him work in space. And if he's able to do that, then you're going to have more of those explosive plays. He's still good enough as the best running back in the country who should have won the Heisman over, obviously, Mr. You-Know-Who. Social media, obviously, Heisman winner, and Travis Hunter, who is great as well as a corner and a receiver. But again, we know that up the gut, at any given moment, Genty could go off for 50 to 60 yards for a tutty. But Penn State's defense has been pretty stifling up to this point. Madsen, one-on-one, sideline, just overhead, incomplete. Fourth down and long on the Boise State 41. Tough catch, tough attempt right there, and a great, stretching and release to be able to, stretch his whole body out to attempt to be able to get that ball that was overthrown. Boise State with the punt, and fair caught there by the Nittany Lions on the Penn State 21. First down and 10, Nittany Lions. They'll have to get the ball into Tyler Warren's hands. Let's go. Allen run for 8 yards at the Penn State 29. Second down and 2 for the Nittany Lions to see if they can get some points here before halftime. We got a Bronco down. Ahmed Hassanain from Cairo, Egypt. Wow. You don't see too many guys from Cairo, Egypt in the college football ranks. Second down and 2 on the Penn State 29, 14-7 Nittany Lions. 2 touchdowns in the first for Penn State, 1 for Boise State in the second quarter. Oh, baby, he got loose, but there's a flag on the play. Oh, man, he put his helmet down, ran a guy over, ran another guy over. Go, go, go. But that's going to come back due to a flag and a hold more than likely. Wow, what a fucking run. That's a run that we would assume that Genty would do. That was incredible. But more than likely, that's going to come back because it was thrown as soon as he went past the line of scrimmage. Holding. Damn, what a run. I mean, he juked 3 guys, then he ended up lowering his helmet, ran over a guy, and then ran over a couple more, broke a couple more tackles after that. What a gain, but all for that, for nothing. Oh, man. He straight put his helmet down, and then the fucking secondary defender went backwards about 3-4 yards, stumbled back. You know, if you're going to go after a running back, you can't wait for him to come to you. You got to come to him like a missile. Wow. Second down and 8. Shotgun set. Aller towards the sideline. Reynolds. First down, Nittany Lions with the chains. Nice catch there by Luke Reynolds. First down and 10, Nittany Lions. Less than 3 minutes to go before halftime. Nittany Lions up by 7, and they are threatening. Oh, here we go. Too many missed tackles there from the Broncos. First down, Nittany Lions, but we got another flag on the play. If that's another hold. The flag party. Personal foul. Face mask. Offense. Wow. Not today, bots. Fuck out of here. You don't typically see face mask on the offensive line. Oh, yeah, he definitely has it. Twisting it all the way to the left. Jesus. Almost broke his neck. Let go. Golly. This ain't fucking WWE. First and 20. Pass incomplete. Second down and 20 on the Penn State 23. Penn State looking a little discombobulated now in the second quarter. Boise State's fan base trying to get an offensive pass interference when he was trying to dive for the football, but there is no flag, and that is the correct call on that particular play. Can't get everything to go your way. Yeah, but does he push off and grab the guy? Yeah, I mean, it could have been a penalty after watching that replay. Didn't look so bad live, but when they slow it down, it looked bad. Second and 20. Little check down. Tyler Warren. Here we go. Third down and 3. Manageable now on the Penn State 40. Go back to him again. This is working. All right, we got the 2-minute warning. 14-7. Penn State, but they're threatening, and it feels like they're going to get a minimum of a field goal. Obviously, best case scenario for them, a touchdown, but we'll see how effective Drew Aller is, as well as the offensive line with their penalties so far at this point. Yeah, he definitely's got that Brock Bowers, but he definitely reminds me of like Taysom Hill and George Kittle into one player. Taysom Hill, based on he can do everything, line up in many, many positions. And then the athleticism reminds me of George Kittle, the yards after catch. He'll run over you. And you don't see too many guys that have that mentality of running over. Mark Andrews doesn't really run over. Kelsey doesn't really run over. But Kittle, Kittle will run you over. And I like what I'm seeing. Maybe this is the new baby Kittle, baby Taysom Hill. And he could end up maybe being, obviously a better player than Taysom Hill. Maybe not as good as George Kittle, but who knows? Maybe he will be. I like what I see so far. Yeah, shit, man. You guys need to be picking offensive line every pick, for like the next 5 years. And then hopefully some of them will stick. They haven't had a very good reputation on evaluating offensive line. Maybe they need to get someone, that is a little bit better on understanding, who's good and who's not, in that regard. So. Singleton loss of 3, 4th down and 6. It'll be interesting to see what they do here. Man, nothing is more annoying, when your connection, or the stream's connection isn't good. Having to refresh, a page, refresh a stream, refresh your connection. Oh, golly. And I got a gig, so it's not, my internet, it's these links and whatnot. And there's nothing worse than when you have buffering or a link drops. Like, fucking A, man. Can't I just goddamn watch the fucking game in peace? Like, I shouldn't have to fucking buffer or reload 150 times. But that's what happens when you have the 2 biggest streaming links that end up going offline. And those were the most reliable. And then now we're just left with a bunch of bullshit that we have to go through these fucking problems every fucking couple minutes. It's annoying as fuck. Golly. Can I just get something reliable here? Jesus Christ. All right, they're going to punt. All right, Boise State. You got 1:45 left to tie the game up or at least get it to 10. Terrible, 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 terrible. Come on, baby. Jesus Christ. This is unreal. Jesus. Unbelievable. All right, finally, Jesus Christ. 3rd down and 8 on the Boise State 22. I mean, this is what happens when the top 2 streaming links, disappear. You're left with shit in return. Close to the marker. 4th down. 4th down and 1 on the Boise State 29. Man, this is terrible. I've never been this frustrated in a long time. No, you can't go for it. Not where you're at field position wise. Abdul Carter, he's a stud. Could be a top 5 pick, as high as maybe number 2. 4th down and 1 on the Boise State 29. And I also have a feeling that, millions and millions of people that used to watch those other 2 streaming links, right? Now all that traffic is going to all these other places and it can't handle it. I think that's what's going on. Just like when we had Netflix with Tyson and Paul and that fucking shit started buffering, it's like you get too many people trying to log in and, the servers either can handle it or they can't. So. Timeout. Still 4th down and 1. Yeah, but you don't want to go for it on your own 29. You don't get it. One play later, then it's 21-7 and the game's over. So you got to punt. (14-7) Penn State up on Boise State with about a minute to go as we wait for Boise State to punt. And we'll see if Penn State is aggressive and tries to end up getting into field goal range, or if they just kind of, hand it off a couple times, bleed the clock out, and then they're satisfied going into the locker room with a 7-point lead. Flag on the play. And it's one thing when you have like a stream that like buffers, but then it goes back and it automatically starts playing. That's better than it buffering and it not coming back. and then you have to refresh or find a new link. Gosh, man. This is like reminding me what my life was like years ago when, you had a bunch of like these, links that, were unreliable. I fucking hate it. Boise State with the punt. Fair catch. Gosh, man, I am getting pissed right now. Aller to Tyler Warren for 11 yards. First down, Nittany Lions down to the Penn State 47. Move the chains. Can't your boy just watch the game in peace? Fuck. Unbelievable. All these goddamn people in sports are so goddamn greedy with all the goddamn fucking apps and money that they have to have. Sports fans just want to goddamn watch their games. Let them watch. Fuck. Unbelievable. Seven more likes to be able to get to 20. Let's get there. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. 78 more to hit the dono goal as well. I might need therapy after this fucking stream is over as well. This thing keeps having issues. Gosh. It's hard to be able to get into a flow of a game when you got to fucking deal with all this bullshit. Timeout. Second down and 12 at the Boise State 38. This is incredibly stupid. I'm getting so pissed right now. And it's like the worst possible timing. Like if you were going to have streams like, go down, the two most popular ones, how about you do it after college football season and the NFL is over? Not when, everyone is fucking looking to be able to watch. Like this is like the worst possible fucking timing ever. Aller. Going deep and complete. Third down and 12. Man, he almost had that too. And that could have been PI because obviously he was grabbed before the attempt was made to go up and try to get it right there. Could have been defensive pass interference. Third down and 12 at the Boise State 38. Man in motion. Shotgun set. And timeout was called. All right, Penn State up 14-7, 37 seconds to go before I lose my fucking mind. Drew Aller, pass incomplete. 4th down and 12 at the Boise State 38. He gets fucking crushed when he let that ball go, too. Oladipo with the nickel blitz. Wonder if he has any relation to Victor. Oladipo's not that common of a last name. Look at Warren. You know, they're holding on to him like way past 5 yards. All right, 4th down and 12. They're like, fuck it, let's go for it. Man in motion. Shotgun set. Aller. Pressure on the edge. And complete. Oh my. Flag on the play. That'll be an automatic 1st down. Last thing that you want on 4th down and 12 is a hold, and that's exactly what you got. Come on, Boise State. I mean, they played well in the second quarter, but you don't want to give up a free touchdown here at the end of the game or a field goal. Yeah, but they've been holding Warren and all the receivers all day. They can't keep up with those athletic bodies. Aller passing complete. 2nd down and 10 on the Boise State 23. Come on, baby. Don't do this to me. Be nice to me. Damn it. Pass incomplete again. 3rd down and 10 on the Boise State 23. God. Everything is so fucking unreliable. I'm just hating life right now. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Worst possible timing to be able to have for sports fans to be able to enjoy the college football playoff, and a lot of people can't even goddamn fucking watch the games. At least not watch them in peace. Fuck, man. Aller run for no gain to the Boise State 23, 4th down and 10. This is terrible. All right, 3 seconds left on 4th down and 10. Kick is up And good. 17-7 Nittany Lions. Well, they had their little, Rose Bowl, festivities. And, obviously Dan Lanning is smiling and Ryan Day, still having that frumpy look on his face, like he already knows that the game is already over and they lost. 17-7 Penn State. I'm trying to remember the last time that I had to change links or refresh like 100 times during a stream. It's been years. Please, to whoever runs those two streaming sites, please come back, because again, it might be higher ups that pushed you out, but hopefully we get another smart individual overseas that gets that shit up and running, because this shit is unbearable. Hopefully this one will work good. All right, go get some snacks, brother. I'm going to go check up on my pup real quick before we get into the highlights. Make sure that she's eating and whatnot, so I'll be right back. Halftime, Penn State 17, Boise State 7. All right, I'm back. Genty needs to be a factor in the second half if they have any chance of keeping this close. Two fumbles all season long, 2 today, 1 recovered, 1 lost. And then on the opposite side, keep getting the football to Tyler Warren and you'll get a victory. The hilarious thing is like, you end up having issues, with either links or buffering or refreshing. And then, of course, when it goes to halftime, is there any problem? Fuck no. But that's not the time that we want to be able to have it be clean. You want everything to be good during the game. Not so much we care about halftime, but I guess that's just the world that we live in now. But hopefully this will continue. Going into the third and fourth quarter, but it hasn't been too kind to me so far. 17-7, Nittany Lions. And this one that I got now, it looks like it's the smoothest out of all the ones so far. But hopefully this will continue into the second half, but who knows? But I'll tell you what, that first half was frustrating. I don't think I've ever had that many issues, but just wish that if they were going to make any changes, that they would have waited till football season was over. But, sometimes you have no control over that. Yeah, there'll definitely be a lot of firings on the college football side and the NFL side. But so far right now, I think I might have found like one that picture, audio, everything looks like what I'm used to. So Fingers crossed it stays good the rest of the way. So. Pretty good first half. We were hoping that Boise State would do a little bit better, but I mean, down by 10, and I mean, they're still close, but again, Genty not playing his best football, and for them to be able to win this game or have it be very, very close, he's got to have to score for 2 or 3 touchdowns and like 150 yards, and he's nowhere near that number. Obviously, with 2 fumbles and hasn't even gotten in the end zone yet, so probably a pretty good chance of him getting in the end zone at least once in the second half, maybe even twice, but I highly doubt that he'll get 3 touchdowns in the second half. Not enough time in the game for him to do that unless it goes to overtime. But I'm pretty pleased so far with this one. I mean, this was like, it's kind of crazy. I had to find this one right before halftime, but I'm liking what I see so far. Hopefully it'll continue. Shit, on one of them, I was refreshing almost every 5 seconds. So it's like I had to do a play, refresh, and then hope that, and I got multiple screens up so I can keep up with the game, on different stat pages as well. So just because I don't see the video part of it, I can still call the play. And then, if I have to wait on the actual video part on my end, I want to keep it up to date for everyone, watching the broadcast as live as possible. But, technology, what can you do? But so far, no buffering. So far, no glitching. So far, HD 4K picture. Everything is good. I got a gig service, so it's never my internet. So far, so good. But tomorrow's game in the morning will be very similar to this at halftime. I could definitely see Texas up 17-7 over Arizona State, tomorrow morning. A very similar score. So I wouldn't be shocked if that's what we get tomorrow. But, it's really going to get juicy when we get the Rose Bowl with Oregon and Ohio State. And, too bad we don't get that matchup in the championship or, later in the college football playoff. It's kind of stupid that, arguably the 2 best teams are playing in this next round. But, it is what it is. Not really sure if Ohio State's better than Texas, in my opinion, but I get it. Some Ohio State fans and Buckeye fans in general feel that they are the first, second, or third best team. Hard to argue, with that, but I mean, Georgia's offense and defense is a little shaky. Notre Dame, same thing as well. Boise State and Arizona State aren't on the same page, but I mean, I don't know how everyone else would rank the teams, even if Georgia statistically their offense and defense aren't as good as previous championship years. I think we understand that they could still beat anybody, but I feel like who's been playing good football as of late, Oregon, Ohio State besides that Michigan game, Penn State, Texas, you would assume, and then, you can't discredit Georgia either. All right, let's look at some of the stat line here while we're waiting for the action to come back. Drew Aller, 10 for 17, 144 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no picks. On the opposite side, Maddox Madsen, 8 for 12, 99 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. Penn State running back committee. They got 77 yards total, negative 14 for Aller. Otherwise, that number would be better. Singleton, 5 carries for 15 yards, and Patron Allen, 10 carries for 76 yards. No tutties on the ground there. And then Boise State, Genty, probably should have won the Heisman this year. 13 carries, 39 yards, no touchdowns just yet. 2 fumbles, 1 recovered and 1 lost. And then they had Tyler Crow come in there as kind of the main option, Genty a decoy. 1 carry for 8 yards, and that's where the touchdown came in. And then the leading receiver for Boise State is Matt Lauder, 3 receptions, 43 yards. And then for Penn State, you got Omari Evans, 2 receptions, 55 yards and a tutty. Tyler Warren, 4 receptions, 45 yards and a tutty. And that is pretty much it. Penn State 51-1 under James Franklin when they're up by 10 at half or more. Well, I don't think it's necessarily just the run defense. I think it's O-line and D-line. That's really where you win games, as on the line of scrimmage. Because again, if the O-line wasn't good enough for Penn State, then they wouldn't have been able to move the ball with Aller to give him enough time to go through his progressions, other than just Tyler Warren, as well as giving room to the running backs to get loose. So, O-line and D-line have both been winning for Penn State. O-line, D-line, defense, coaching, play calling. Everything has been, in Penn State's favor, except for maybe the one Boise State play where they ended up bringing in Crow and then using Genty as a decoy. I'll give them credit on that play call. That was brilliant. But other than that, they've been getting dominated up front on the O-line and D-line. So. But also Oregon and Ohio State have better options on offense than Boise State does. Other than Genty, does Boise State really have anybody that's like, oh my God, we got to keep an eye on him? Not really. Their quarterback is okay, Maddox Madsen, but it's not like, anything that you are threatened by, right? You got Genty, but if you can contain him, like who else is going to step up and make plays? They don't really have a star receiver, star tight end. They don't really have other running backs that can give you what Genty gives you. So they're kind of one-dimensional. So if you can, stop Genty, get pressure on Maddox Madsen, you win. And obviously with Penn State, they got Al and they got Singleton, they got Al or they got Tyler Warren, and they got a better O-line, they got a better D-line, they got better defense. And even though Boise State's got a lot of sack lunches throughout the year, they're not able to penetrate a Big Ten offensive line. And it shows you, the SEC was king for so many years with Georgia and Bama, and now they've added, obviously Texas has that other piece with them and Oklahoma joining the SEC. Oklahoma, dog shit, Texas, still one of the contenders. But overall, top to bottom, Big Ten is supreme. But there's just more athletes, on the Penn State side. And I think that's really going to be the difference in the Texas and Arizona State game. I know a lot of people love underdogs, but the bottom line is same thing. Scatterboo, if he goes off, the game will be closer. But if they end up containing him, like, Texas is known to do, where Scatterboo might have some yards, but there might be some negative plays that we're not expecting, or maybe some fumbles like Genty today. Then Arizona State becomes kind of one-dimensional as well. Now, do they have a capable quarterback and a few other weapons? They got a couple guys, but I don't think anyone's really afraid on Texas. Texas feels in their minds, all right, with Matthew McConaughey and everyone else, they feel that they can win it all. And I don't blame them. The winner, it might be in the top bracket. Oregon, Ohio State, Texas. I feel that those might be the, three of the top, five being the strongest, right? And, we got Penn State on the bottom with Notre Dame and Georgia. But, I'm not really sure if any of those three teams at the bottom could beat the teams at the top. If Ohio State is balling, the bottom three can't beat them. If Oregon is balling, the bottom three can't beat them. And if Texas is balling, none of those bottom three can beat them. Now, Penn State would probably have the best chance on keeping it close, but again, Notre Dame and Georgia, Notre Dame has been a little bit better than we expected, but I don't think that they would be able to match up very well against the Big Ten teams. And then, if Georgia ends up being the team on the bottom, they're not as strong offensively or defensively in years past when they won the Natty. So they're a little bit, I want to say a little bit susceptible to, a little bit of extra, yards and turnovers and big plays. I don't feel like, Georgia and Bama don't have the same feel as they did in the past. Even with like Michigan and Ohio State, obviously Ohio State is the best out of those four that are left now besides Georgia, but we'll have to wait and see how it all plays out. But I definitely feel like the upper part of the bracket is much stronger than the lower part. I still got mad respect for, Georgia, Penn State, and Notre Dame. But I think that if you're looking at, if Ohio State plays well, Oregon plays well, Texas plays well, I don't see how any of those bottom three teams have a chance. Now, if Georgia's team was as good as it was a couple years ago, then it would be very, very close. And you could put Georgia in the mix, and you can still put them in the mix. Same thing with Penn State. Maybe Notre Dame might be the worst one out of them all, but we'll wait and find out and see what happens tomorrow. We'll see if we get any upsets or not. But if we end up getting an upset, it ain't going to be in this game, and it ain't going to be Texas losing to Arizona State. If we get an upset, it'll be Notre Dame beating Georgia or Ohio State beating Oregon. That's it. And hopefully Oregon can find a way. I want to beat Ohio State. I want to beat Texas. And then, if we got Penn State, we've already beat them in the Big Ten championship, but I think that would be a good natty. I would rather play Ohio State or Texas in the natty, if I'm being honest. But if we end up getting Georgia, if they end up beating Notre Dame and they beat Penn State, and it ends up being Georgia versus Oregon, or Georgia Ohio State, or Georgia Texas, I mean, any of those scenarios will be great. Yeah, but too bad Oregon would have to play Texas in the next round. So this bracket is flawed. But there's no reason that we should have played Ohio State in the first game, and especially when some people think that might be the second best team to Oregon, even though they're a number 8 next to their name, right? With the way that they've been playing. Other than that Michigan game, we've seen the good Ohio State and the bad Ohio State. So, but I like Texas more than I like Ohio State. Like, if I'm going my pecking order, I'm going Oregon 1, Texas 2. To me, those are the 2 best teams in college football, and the champion should be one of those 2 teams. And then after those 2, then it gets a little bit closer with like a 3-way tie between Ohio State, Penn State, and Georgia, and then last, Notre Dame. That's kind of my pecking order. But I feel that, the most likely teams to win it all, Oregon 1, Texas 2, Georgia 3. That's just in my personal opinion. No hating against the others. It's just, I just don't know if Georgia, Penn State, or Ohio State, we'll find out tomorrow. But I think Oregon, Texas would have been a better natty than Oregon, Georgia. Hell, even Oregon, Ohio State in the natty would be better than Oregon, Georgia. But, again, we need to get payback on some of these schools from the past. And, if that ends up being the case, if Georgia's good enough to get there and beat Notre Dame and Penn State, then they definitely have earned that spot. Just Oregon had a harder path. Georgia's not better than Texas. SEC championship game proved that. You got to remember, Georgia doesn't have the same defense and same offense as they did in years past. They have a backup quarterback. Carson Beck hasn't been very good this year. Their defense still plays in spurts, but yeah, and Georgia ended up beating Texas in OT, but I don't know. That one could go either way, Georgia or Texas. You can flip-flop that, Captain. I agree. Either one, Georgia at 2 or Georgia at 3. I mean, that's very close. But those are the 3 that, feel like they are championship worthy. Pass incomplete. I think I got a winner here. It took me, how long? 2 hours to find it, but I think we have a winner here. I haven't had any glitching. I haven't had any buffering. Everything's HD 4K. I think we're lined up perfectly here. Thank God. Wish I would have had this one at the very start, and if this is the case, I'm going to use this one tomorrow too. Singleton run for 4 yards, 3rd down and 6 at the Penn State 29. Yeah, I'm super pumped for the Rose Bowl. Third down and 6 at the Penn State 29, 17-7, Nittany Lions. Yeah. But it's also like how the teams are playing right now. Not necessarily what they did earlier on. There's a different, couple factors. Passing complete to Tyler Warren. I don't know. I think I just trust Quinn Ewers and Arch Manning, even though Arch is raw. But I trust Quinn Ewers more, and the Texas defense, I think, than a Georgia backup, quarterback and the Georgia defense. Like, Georgia's good. Don't get me wrong, but it definitely feels like, their time is kind of come and gone. They have a good team, but again, Big Ten is supreme. I mean, we're going to try to get that championship in the Big Ten, so that means it's got to be Oregon, Ohio State, or Penn State. And I guess if Georgia ends up beating Notre Dame, but then Penn State beats Georgia, then what? That would be probably shocking to a lot of people, right? Penn State beating Georgia, and then if we end up getting two Big Ten teams in the championship, Ohio State, Penn State, or Oregon, Penn State, that would be, a nice little rematch. I'm not sure if that would be the most ideal matchup for a Natty, but if Penn State makes it to the Natty, they'll earn it. They'll earn their spot if they can get all the way to that point. But obviously other teams are going to have something to say about that, like Georgia and Texas representing the SEC. False start. 5-yard penalty. First down and 15 on the Boise State 12. I think right now Oregon has the most trustworthy offense and defense right now. Helps that you got the best coach, too. Little short keeper. 3-yard gain. Second down and 12 at the Boise State 15. Man, I'm starting to feel good here. I'm not having to refresh. I'm not having any buffering. I wish I would have had this particular link in the first half, and I wouldn't have been so frustrated. Maddox Madsen, bootleg, keeping his eyes downfield. Nice. First down. Broncos, move the chains. Cameron Camper, 17 yards at the Boise State 32. Move the chains. First down, Broncos. Genty up the middle. And nice gang tackle by the Nittany Lions. But one thing is for sure, in some of the lopsided matchups, the winner is going to be by 10 or more. But in some of the matchups, as we get further along, it could be as close as 1, 2, or 3 points. It could end up being a field goal that separates Oregon, Ohio State, or Oregon, Texas, or Oregon, Georgia. I don't really see, a blowout scenario, as we get further into the tourney. As we get further along and we start to eliminate the pretenders and it only ends up the contenders at the end with the final four, it's going to get really juicy. And hopefully it ends up being Oregon, Texas at the top. And then obviously Penn State, Georgia on the bottom. No disrespect to Notre Dame, but I just don't think they're going to beat Georgia. Second down and 12 on the Boise State 30. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 20 and then 30 to 50 if we get the volume. And obviously we'll be shooting for 100 in the donos on every stream. Maddox Madsen, pass to the sideline. There we go. First down, Broncos. Move the chains. There we go. Capel, 17 yards. Nice route, nice hands. Maddox Madsen, good time in the pocket. And obviously playing a little soft zone there for the Nittany Lions and, finding that little hole in that soft zone. Trell Capel, 17 yards. First down, Broncos. I think the backup for Georgia actually looks better than Carson Beck, the starter. So we'll see how he looks, as the games go on. But I don't know. Beck wasn't very good this year. Uh-oh, floater. He's open. He's at the 30, the 20, the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Broncos. Woo, woo, woo. Let's go. Here we go. Matt Lauder, 53 yards, blown coverage by the Penn State Nittany Lions. Come on. Let's go, baby. Oh, oh, oh. Let's go. I mean, this is what we want as college football fans, right? We don't want blowouts. We want games to be close. We want exciting plays on the offense and the defense. And what a broken coverage play by the Nittany Lions. They got fooled top to bottom, baby. Extra point is up and good. We have ourselves a game, baby. Let's go. And I guarantee you've only seen Penn State give up a play like that only once or twice this whole season. Bad timing for them. Great timing for the Broncos. Hell yeah. Nice job. And just imagine if Genty were able to get off in the first half, and get in the end zone. They would have the lead right now. But there's still time. There's still time for Ashton Genty. I can't wait to see Oregon's helmets glistening tomorrow. Anytime Oregon wears the chrome helmets, man, they look so good. I can't wait to be able to see that, obviously, on screen. And the vibes are going to be very high. Like, I honestly feel the Rose Bowl is the biggest game in the college football playoff. I mean, regardless if you like Oregon or you hate them, you like Ohio State or you hate them, that's a bigger matchup than the other three. Texas, Arizona State doesn't have the same feel to it. It kind of feels like one team is quite a bit better than the other. And even though Notre Dame and Georgia could be close, it feels like, Georgia might be too much for them, But Ohio State, is good enough to beat Oregon. We just got to hope that Dylan Gabriel plays clean, the defense plays motivated, and again, no home field advantage like we had in the first round. I went 4 for 4 in my picks, and we'll see if I end up continuing that trend. But again, the Rose Bowl is going to be packed with Duck fans. 5 more likes to 20. Let's get there, baby. I like the options that Boise State has there for their uniforms and their colors. I'm not really a big orange guy, and obviously, this particular look, it's kind of like the Denver Broncos and whatnot, but I feel like with the orange and blue, it goes together pretty nicely. I'm not a real big orange guy, but obviously I think the blue looks a little bit better with just a hint of orange. But they have a nice little color scheme with their helmets and their uniforms. Not as swaggy as Oregon, of course, but as far as like white and blues and orange, not bad. All right, Tyler Warren, your turn. But anytime you see the blue and the white and the orange, what else do you think of? The Florida Gators. At least that's the first thing I think of besides Boise State for college football and those colors. $17-14, Nittany Lions. Shotgun set. Hand off. Go, baby, go. Break that tackle. I don't know what I'm more happy about now. If I'm more happy that I actually can watch the game in peace without any buffering or refreshing or any problems, or that Boise State actually scored to make it close. Aller going long, going deep, got a man. 1-on-2, almost intercepted. Stewart in the building. Happy New Year. You are a legend. I appreciate that. Happy New Year, Stewart. $2 holla. Appreciate the kind words, my guy. I always grind. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. You got a favorite player of a particular team that you want to represent on the channel? Let me know, and I'll throw up a photo or two of you for you here once we get into a commercial break. Handoff, bouncing it to the outside. Go, baby, go. Stiff arm, get off me, little man. You are too small. Boom, let's go. First down. Nittany Lions with the chain. Too small. Look at them. Let me stiff arm you. Get off me. We're at 24. 76 to go. And if you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do, Stuart. I'd appreciate it. Every like will end up getting us closer to 20. And then once we hit 20, we can get to 25 or 30. And then again, once this game, if it ends up getting close, within the last fourth quarter, we could end up getting that big jump. You never know when you're going to get that recommendation, from YouTube, based on your stream. We've had a couple streams hit 5,000, 10,000, 15,000. So you just never know. And we've had pretty good luck. And normally it's when Oregon is about to lose or, it looks like they might lose and then people want to hop in and talk shit. But I don't mind. We had a good stream, obviously, with Oregon and Boise State. We had a good stream with Oregon and Wisconsin. And I wouldn't want it any other way. So that's my guy. He's the one that made me love Oregon Duck football. I mean, I started watching in like the 80s, but he was the first Oregon Duck player. And again, I have a super rare jersey in my closet that is actually one of my favorites of all time. I have a sewn Nike Joey Harrington jersey. Back in the day, Nike made a very small selection of sewn jersey with Harrington on the back stitched from Nike themselves when they had the Heisman, candidacy. And obviously it was Harrington for Heisman. And most people end up having the green and the black jersey, the home jersey, right? That one is a common one that you can usually find for $100 to $200. The one that I have, I got the rare white one, and I ended up buying it for like $30 off a guy in Ohio. I would have paid $300 for it, but I don't think the guy that he knew what he had. I love me some Joey Harrington. And every time I wear that jersey, I always get looks because no one has it. I remember I had an Ontario Smith from back in the day, but I gifted that to my buddy Joey so he could have a Duck jersey that was vintage. But that Joey Harrington sewn jersey, man, that one, I got, obviously Justin Herbert, Green Apple, Bo Nix. I love that one as well. I got this one right here, the custom D'Anthony Thomas, where I have Mamba sewn in the back with this one. I got the LaMichael James Natty jersey from 2010 against Cam Newton. That one might be like my favorite one because it's custom with the patch, the BCS patch, and then James on the back that I got it sewn in the back with his name. But, man, that Harrington, though, I love it. He might have not panned out for the Lions, because they didn't have an offensive line, but he still is an Oregon legend. And I absolutely love Joey Harrington and D'Anthony and LaMichael. Just because they didn't pan out in the NFL doesn't mean they're losers. It's hard to pan out in the NFL. Some guys make it, some guys don't, and unless you're built like a Mack truck, like a Haloti Ngata, or you're skilled like a Bo Nix or a Justin Herbert, it's tough to be able to make a name for yourself. I mean, hell, you can even win a Heisman like Marcus Mariota and not pan out, to the expectations that some of us maybe had. And I got that jersey right here, this white one. And I actually got the helmet in my room here too as well. I got a vintage Oregon Duck helmet, this exact helmet right here in my room, sitting on my dresser. Captain Comeback is what they call them. I love me some Joey Harrington. Keenan Howery, Sammy Parker, right? Justin Peele, at tight end. Ended up having, some solid pieces, over the years too, right? Maurice Morris, right? Remember him? Ontario Smith. Maurice Morris went to the Hawks. Ontario Smith ended up going to the Vikings for a short period of time. But that 2001, 2002, around that time, that was one of our best teams that Oregon's ever had. We had the most NFL draft picks come out at quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, O-line, D-line, linebacker, and secondary. Shotgun set. Aller, blitz coming. Get rid of it. Oh, it's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Broncos sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Big sack lunch. And we got screwed back in the day when the BCS started off. Miami was one with Ken Dorsey, remember? And then it was Colorado, Nebraska, and Oregon. But Miami was one, Oregon was two, but then they had Oregon play Colorado, and then obviously we beat them in the Fiesta Bowl. And then what happened? Nebraska ended up playing Miami, and what happened? They got their fucking ass kicked. Again, Oregon probably would have lost also. Anyone would have lost to Miami in that particular year. Clinton Portis, Willis McGahee, all the great players that they had. But it would have been cool to see if we could have maybe pulled off the miracle. And if we would have lost by less than the other teams. Aller passed to Tyler Warren for 5 yards. 3rd down and 14 on the Boise State 37. Hell yeah. Great memories. And then after that, remember Kellen Clemens, Jason Fife, when we ran the 2-quarterback system, going from Justin Peele at tight end to George Reister. And, we had a nice little thing brewing, with players, back in that era. That's really what put us on the map. Besides 94, Kenny Wheaton, pick 6. Aller, run. The 30, get that first down. First down, Nittany Lions. Aller with the great moves. First down, Nittany Lions. But we got a flag on the play. What's really funny, too, that group that the Ducks had with those students, what's up with your girl? I love my Ducks. I love my Ducks. They had an interview, actually, over the weekend going over their hit song. And, obviously all these guys are now, in their late 20s, early 30s, because that came out like 15 years ago when they were at college, at Austin at that time, when we were, with the Chip Kelly era, and going to the Natties and the Rose Bowls and whatnot. But, I love that. Anytime that you can come up with, something, or, Matt Kearney, coming up with the Oregon Duck theme song that they play at halftime. And, I just love when you end up getting certain people that come up with creative Oregon Duck songs that stick, that they still play to this day. Shotgun set for Aller. Oh, flag on the play. That's my guy right there. Short game for Allen. Aller, pass incomplete. 3rd down and 11 on the Boise State 13. Self-inflicted wounds. They got to clean it up, man. Third down and 11. Shotgun set. Aller, floater, back of the end zone. Touchdown, Nittany Lions. Oh, my God. Wow. Tyler Warren. Hello. Get him the football. That's a first-round pick. That's the next Brock Bowers, baby. Woo! Look at him. Look at him. He goes up like a fucking wide receiver, and he comes down with it like a great tight end. We are witnessing the next Taysom Hill / George Kittle in the making. Wow. That's exactly what they needed. You got to go to your stars. Yeah, I think a lot of teams are going to want, imagine if Seattle had a guy like that. That's exactly what you need, a Brock Bowers, a Tyler Warren at some point. Now, offensive line is obviously more important than the tight end, but obviously the tight end can help the line by blocking and being a receiver. But again, you need center, you need guard, you need tackles, you need a tight end. those are really the main weaknesses of Seattle. And, whoever gets Tyler Warren is going to be very, very happy. And that might have, I don't want to say that was the nail in the coffin because the game is still going, but that definitely puts a lot of pressure on Boise State now. Extra point is up and good, 24-14, Nittany Lions. And I wish I had more Joey Harrington options, but again, there's not a whole lot that they have that fit screen. A lot of them are, different sizes and whatnot, but these are the away jerseys, and then these were the home. Swaggy even back then. All these other photos, they won't let me convert it, unfortunately. But if you got someone else that you want to be able to put up based on your old school era being in college, let me know, Stuart, and I got you. I always liked Keenan Howery and Sammy Parker back then too. We had something special back in that time period. (24-14) Penn State. I haven't had any buffering. I haven't had any refreshing. I haven't had any problems. So sometimes, you have to experiment and you have to go through, and obviously the stuff on YouTube gets taken down, so that's not reliable. Streaming links, a lot of them are not going to be reliable, but every once in a while you'll find one that maybe the servers can handle the volume and you're not having any of the issues. And I'm definitely going to try to use this one for tomorrow as well, because this one is money. Yeah. All right, 5 more likes to be able to get to 20. If you're in the room and haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Now we're at 16. Only 4 more to go, and we're at that number. Let's get there, baby. I told you, years ago, I know sometimes when you hear someone on the outside say something negative about our favorite players or teams, it's kind of easy to get defensive. But again, as you know me, I'm going to call it how I see it. Good, bad or ugly for my team or any team. And the culture is terrible, and that's the problem. They messed up at the quarterback position, drafting obviously AR and the coaching staff, the ownership and the GM. I mean, there's a lot that needs to be fixed. And again, people like Pat McAfee, if you are noticing that, that guy is so loved, right? So beloved. And if, players are going to be trying to attack him, based on the truth that he's saying, just because they don't want to admit that these things are going on, like Pat's the crazy one and they're not. Well, I mean, obviously the record and the effort speaks for itself. So, but I hope it gets better for you guys. But I mean, again, it all starts at the top, and this is just me. I know you like Irsay, as an owner, but I don't think he's a good owner. The guy has too many past drug and alcohol issues. I feel that, he's not the best for the Indianapolis Colts. But again, it's like Jerry Jones and the Cowboys. Until he passes away or sells the team, you're stuck. And it shows you. Look at Washington. They weren't able to win, 11 or 12 games, since the Mark Rippon era, with the old ownership. And it took the new owner 1 year to get the new coach, the new quarterback, and to win as many games as they did in 1991 with Mark Rippon. So sometimes you got to get rid of these bad owners or bad GMs or bad coaches. And once you get good owner, good GM, good coaches, everything with the coordinators and everything else falls into place. But if you don't have good guys at the top, it's hard to be able to construct a good team down below, you know. And I hope it gets better for you guys. But, you know, out of as far as like culture, you know, you guys definitely have bottom 5 culture, you know, like the Bears and a few other teams. Now, there's still some talent on the Colts. They're not as bad, you know, as the Bears, like overall, but you're getting close. You know, that if things continue to spiral, at some point you guys might end up, you know, being in the running for the number 1 pick in the draft in a couple years if things keep spiraling. You got enough talent, you know, to win 5 to 8 games, but if things go bad, you know, it could end up being a 3 or 4 win season. First down, Broncos. You know, and I never say anything, you know, to cause a fight, you know, like I'm always just going to keep it honest, you know, and I'm going to treat every single team as if they were my own. And if they are my own, how would I critique them or, you know, break them down? And if I was a Colts fan, I still would be saying the same things that I'm saying to you right now, or, you know, even maybe, you know, a little bit more animated, you know, because we know Colts fans deserve better. It shows you, like, when you end up having the Peyton Mannings and, you know, the Andrew Lucks and the Marvin Harrisons and the Reggie Waynes, and then they leave and they're gone. The Dwight Freeneys and, you know, the guys that, you know, the Robert Mathis, you know, and then they leave and they're not there anymore. Then you start to kind of go down the shithole of production, and then you start to wish that you had those guys back, because that's what it takes to be able to be a champion. You need those type of players. First down, Broncos. Yeah, Schneider needs to get fired. Ballard needs to get fired as well. You know, and it shows you how important it is to have guys good at the top. You know, good GM and good head coach will lead to good OC, DC, offensive line coaches, and then it'll trickle down to your good draft picks or possibly bad draft picks and bad, breakdowns of players. But I hope that both of your guys' teams get better. I hate seeing your guys' teams struggle like you guys are. Hand off to Genty, breaks 1 tackle, and 4 Nittany Lions on him. Second down and 8 at the Penn State 44. Genty run for 3 yards. Third down and 4, third down and 5. Genty's running hard, but Penn State is very disciplined, as you've seen, with their tackling, right? Gang tackling, single tackling, wrapping up around the waist or the legs. You know, you're not going to get that big explosive run that we normally see Genty get. Now, I'm not saying that he's not going to do one in this game before the game ends, but Penn State has done a fantastic job to prevent the big 50-yard touchdown run up to this point. Now, it's just the Penn State defense has been fantastic. They played amazing. You know, I don't think Genty, you know, is obviously a bad player. It's just he doesn't have the lanes to run in like he normally does. The defensive line is winning the line of scrimmage and they also are winning the offensive line of scrimmage on the other side of the ball. And again, if you win the O-line or the D-line battle, you're going to win the game. Now, Boise State O-line is a little overwhelmed, you know, with Penn State's physicality and those big bodies across from them. Shows you how important O-line and D-line are to a football team. You could literally have the best running back that we've seen in ages trying to put up Barry Sanders' iconic numbers, and he can't even really get loose against this Penn State defense. The Big Ten is for real. Ohio State, Oregon as well. Even Michigan's defense has been kind of fiery lately. Look at how many Penn State players convert, you know, to the offensive player after a run or a catch. There's always 4 or more. That's discipline. That's good coaching. But even with all of that being said, Genty is good enough to break a couple tackles, and even with the amazing defense of Penn State, he could still get a 40 or 50-yard touchdown, and they are going to need it if they're going to try to make this game closer in the fourth quarter. They're going to need him to score in the third or fourth quarter, maybe twice. First down, Broncos. Nice jump cut by Ashton Genty. Move the chains. Now they're at the Penn State 21. And they got to be able to get at least 3. They don't need to get the touchdown here, but they want to, slowly but surely, try to get a little bit closer. Madsen, handoff, Genty. And 3 Penn State Nittany Lions say, sit down. Gang tackling has been superb for the Nittany Lions. It's been one of the best gang tackling performances I've seen in this college football playoff. And in this overall 2024 football season. They've been very disciplined today. And their best player on defense, I believe, isn't in the game right now. Abdul Carter, he's out still with the injury. So imagine if they had him out there. I don't think he's out there, but if he's out there, then there's even more plays that happen. Second down and 9. Madsen. Stiff arm. Touchdown, Broncos. But we have a flag on the play. Who's it on? Is it holding on the O-line or no? Oh, my. Who's it on? Bring it back. Brutal. Way to rip the momentum out of there. All the fans that are jumping up and down don't even realize that just got called back until now. Yeah. I mean, Abdul Carter could be the first pick in the draft. I mean, we obviously know Travis Hunter is going to be more valuable. Quarterbacks, to some teams might be, a valuable piece. But, Abdul Carter could be on any team, just like Travis Hunter. It's just a matter of, who appreciates his value. Second down and 24 instead of a touchdown. That's rough. Screen pass for nothing. End of the third quarter, 24-14, Nittany Lions. Not first pick overall, but Genty definitely could be, a top 10, top 15 pick if a team wanted to grab him that early. I mean, as we've seen, some players aren't really having their best, bowl game experience. Like Shedeur Sanders, didn't really have a good bowl game, but he'll still probably get picked top 5. I don't really know what his career will be like, though. Cam Ward had a good bowl, season for that bowl game that he had, even though they lost, but he had a good first half until he sat. Travis Hunter only had that one tutty, but he had a couple of big plays, kind of solidified himself as more than likely being the first pick in the draft. So, but definitely the first round is going to have some studs, but I definitely feel there are going to be some people in the second and third round that'll slide into the draft that could have an impact of just as much as the first round guys. There's going to be some sleepers this year for sure. End of the third quarter, 24-14, Nittany Lions. I think Genty could be as high as 5 and, probably not as low as maybe 20 in the first round, but, he'll definitely get picked by somebody. Go, baby. Zay in the building. What's good, brother? Like, sub, donate, comment, share. We're about to go in the fourth quarter. Penn State up by 10. No surprise there. We figured that, they would win by, somewhere between 10 and 14 points. Same thing with Texas on Arizona State. It feels like they were going to win by 10 to 14. And then obviously the other two games, Notre Dame and Georgia, could be decided by 3 or less. Same thing with Oregon and Ohio State by 3 or less. It definitely could be very, very close. We need 3 more likes to be able to hit the goal. So if you haven't smashed that like button yet today, please do. And if you did already, thank you so much. 3 more to go to hit 20. And we're at 24, 76 to go on the dono goal. Yeah. Well, we knew they were going to fight, right? But again, it shows you if Genty doesn't go off for 150 yards and 2 to 3 touchdowns, you're probably not going to get it close enough to be able to, win the game, right? Same thing with Scadaboo tomorrow. Like, they're going to have to get turnovers on Quinn Ewers and Arch Manning. They're going to have a little bit of luck. And Scadaboo's got to have to go crazy for like 3 touchdowns and 150 yards. And going to do that against the Texas defense, not likely. But, that's the kind of the formula that you would need to be able to match up with a Penn State or a Texas in the college football playoff. You need those guys to go off and have a career game. If not, you probably lose by 10 to 14. All right, we're in the fourth quarter now. We're down in 25 on the Penn State 36. Floater. Intercepted! Woo! Big hit. Flag on the play. Oh, my. Big 10, baby. That's weird for me to say since I'm a Pac-8, Pac-10, and Pac-12 guy, but I'm starting to be able to embrace, especially if it's us versus the SEC and everyone else. ACC, terrible, right? Big 12, not on our level, right? MAC, WAC, not on our level. It's either Big 10 or SEC. That's it. Interception. Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. On 33 on the Penn State Nittany Lions. That might be the nail in the coffin right there because, now you're down by 10. You end up throwing the pick here. And, again, Maddox Madsen, he's just an average quarterback. Aller is a better quarterback. But, again, yes, you're 13 or 12-1. You barely lost to Oregon, but, again, for a team like Boise State, when you get teams from like the MAC and the WAC, you can have a good record, or a team like the Big 12, like Arizona State, projected to finish last, ended up being first. But again, you can still be a top dog in the MAC, the WAC, the Big 12, the ACC. But if you end up playing a top 3 school in the Big 10 or the SEC, you're probably not going to be able to keep up. You might be able to fire back a while here and there, but when it comes down to the end of the game, you're probably going to get overmatched, and that's what we're seeing here today. But at least that Boise State is fighting, but we assumed the score would be like this. I know some of us were hoping that the game would be a little bit closer at this point, maybe being 24-20 and actually Boise State having a chance, or 24-17, just a little bit closer. But again, it's going to take a miracle for a team like Boise State or Arizona State to win this weekend. And I'm just so happy I'm not having buffering or issues. That first half, on a level of 1 to 10 of my frustration, that was like a fucking 100. Like, you guys, can't see all the buttons that I'm clicking and all the screens that I'm on and whatnot, but I don't think I've ever had to refresh, look for other options as much as I did in that first half. So thank God I don't have to worry about that anymore, because it's a horrible way to watch a game when I'm trying to call a game, and to be able to get into a rhythm and enjoy it when you have to fucking refresh or find different options. It just kind of takes the fun out of the stream a little bit for me, but I still was able to do it. Even though there was a couple plays that I missed while I was buffering, refreshing, and trying to find a better link. But so far, the link that I found there at halftime has been perfect, and I'll use this one for tomorrow. Some good tight ends. Dallas Clark. Oh, dirty play there by the Nittany Lions. 33 hit Genty with a dirty hit there at the end. You're already going to win the game. You don't need to hit Genty late. Dirty. Come on, Penn State. Don't be dirty. We don't want to be known as a dirty conference in the Big Ten. But, again, we got the physicality, and sometimes the emotions boil over. And some players are immature. Things get heated, right? A lot of shit talking. Aller, 5-yard gain, 2nd down and 5 on the Penn State 31. 24-14, Nittany Lions. And it kind of feels like even with this 10-point lead, one more field goal or score, and this one is over. Unless Boise State can force a turnover or a stop. Aller diving for the first down and just short. 4-yard gain, good effort by Drew. 3rd down and 1 on the Penn State 35. Nice little fun fact. Third down and 1. You got many options. You can go QB sneak or both running backs. Little play action bootleg. Stupid play call. 3rd down and 1. QB sneak it. Don't get cute. It's like, if you're letting Boise State get back in it, but obviously the first look was to Tyler Warren, but he was covered and he didn't want to throw the interception. And that's, the problem when you run a play and you only have one option. If that option's covered, then you're fucked. Like, you got to be able to have more than one option. Terrible, terrible, terrible play calling by Penn State there. Chief in the building. What's good? So my picks were obviously for this weekend, Penn State, big, right? Tomorrow, Texas, big, over Arizona State. Oregon over Ohio State, barely, probably by 3. And then I think Georgia over Notre Dame. And that one might be by, 3 to 7 points. So that's what I'm thinking. What's up, Chief? How are you, brother? Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. We just need a couple more likes out of you, Zay, and a couple others, and then we'll be there. And what are we at? 24:76 to go on the Dono train. Anything that can be done on the likes, the shares, the subs, the donos would be greatly appreciated. Happy New Year's Eve, and we're getting closer and closer to 2025. Appreciate that, Zay. Makes you kind of wonder if Michigan ended up making the tourney over like Indiana, or one of those other teams that got obliterated early on. Like, how far would Michigan go based on how they've been playing lately? They could be a team that has like a bad record, but actually win. Like, we were all bitching and moaning that we thought, Miami would be better with Cam Ward, even though they don't have a defense, and they lost their bowl game. Ward only played the first half, right? Alabama, they could have won with 3 losses, better than Indiana, 11-1, but they look like shit the last couple weeks. And, it's starting to look like maybe the only team that has a shitload of losses that actually would have been able to beat a top-tier, team and maybe upset them might be Michigan. They finished the year very, very strong. I think they finished the strongest out of any team that didn't make the college football playoff, in my opinion. I was very impressed. And they won with a bunch of fucking injuries. They had all their star players injured. running backs, corners, linebackers, DNs. Like, they literally had like 8, 9 guys that were big impact guys that weren't even playing in that game or got hurt in that game. So shout out to Michigan, for, all of the greatness that they brought with Harbaugh. But obviously with this next regime, beating Ohio State, they let that momentum carry over to Bama and beat their ass. Screen pass incomplete. Now, I really enjoyed watching that game this morning. The rain was heavy in Tampa early on, and like in the first 10 plays, Alabama had 3 turnovers. So you already knew they were going to lose, but they did have a chance to win at the very end, but they got to Milroe, and Michigan's defense is the truth. Flag on the play. Grounding. That's the last thing that you want if you're Boise State. Madsen, tipped and complete. And we're over, let's see where we're at. We're over 1,300 views on this particular matchup. Keep it going. 1,328. We should be able to get some good views out of the college football playoff no matter what game I do. Genty, 76 yards. Go, baby, go. First down, Broncos. One of the best runs of the day for Ashton Genty. There you go. I mean, of course, Oregon in a blowout would be great, but I mean, I have to respect Ohio State and every other team that's in the playoff, I understand how hard it's going to be able to win a natty every year moving forward, but at least it feels like it's up for grabs instead of just like 4 teams have a chance and everyone else is fucked. So Madsen going deep, got him in. 1-on-2, incomplete. Flag on the play. God, it's a fucking flag party. It's a flag party. Happy New Year's Eve, y'all. O-H. O. I mean, but based on football lately, you got Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State, all from the Big Ten balling out of control, right? And then you got Georgia and Texas in the SEC. Something's got to give. Who's going to be a champion? Is it going to be one of the 3 in the Big Ten or one of the 2 in the SEC? That's where your champion is. Genty run for no gain. Good defense there by the Nittany Lions. 2nd down and 10 on the Penn State 48. Oh, and I feel so happy now. I'm not buffering. I'm not switching streams. I'm not having issues. Gosh, man. I wish I would have been able to find this right at the beginning of the first quarter, but better late than never. I was about to punch my fucking computer. Oh, and as soon as I say that, now something happens. Fuck! Are you kidding me? I take it back. Okay, there it goes. Oh, my God. The sports gods are about to fuck with me there. As soon as I said that, it made a weird noise. And I was like, oh, God, don't do that. Don't freeze. Shotgun set. Maddox Madsen. Good protection up front. Strong. First down. Broncos. Move the chains. First down and 10 on the Penn State 25. Genty breaks the tackle, breaks another tackle, breaks another tackle, breaks another tackle. Vrbo. Yeah, that's a smart idea, depending on, because a lot of people don't have cable or satellite. And then even if you end up using ESPN.com and you put in your password through Comcast or DirecTV, sometimes you'll still have a delay. And then if you're using streaming links, a lot of them are unreliable. And then the top 2 streaming links went down yesterday. And those were the ones that were the fastest, that had the least amount of issues. And so now there's going to be more people struggling, just trying to be able to watch games, as sports fans, which kind of stinks. What's your Vrbo trial cost after, the free trial is over? What does Vrbo cost? What does it give you? Like, do you get a lot of like pretty much just like cable, but just Vrbo? And then like, how many channels do you get? And then what do you have to pay monthly after the free trial? Like, I just wish that streaming sites, if they were going to go down, do it after college football and the NFL, but I don't think it was really this guy's choice. I think it was, higher ups pushing him out, so. Yeah, all the games are on ESPN in this quarterfinal, and all of them tomorrow. Arizona State, Texas, ESPN. Oregon, Ohio State, ESPN. Georgia, Notre Dame, ESPN. So, no, 0. You already know that question. Come on, my guy. I mean, it's one thing to be able to hope that an underdog wins, but yeah, they're not deserving to beat Penn State. Penn State is a much better all-around team. Oh, you canceled $40 and an extra $10 for this. So it's almost like paying for cable. Oh, shit. Yeah, that's expensive. I mean, free is the best price, but again, if you can't have a reliable free option, then you are forced to do trials or to find other options. So, 2007 Fiesta Bowl. I remember that one. Ooh, baby. Little hook and ladder. And then the Statue of Liberty. Oh, baby, I remember that. 76 to go. And we only need 1 or 2 more likes to hit the goal. Let's get there, baby. Jalen Reed, the injured participant there for the Nittany Lions. I am. I feel like I can call a game just as good as anybody on TV, podcast, or YouTube. I don't feel uncomfortable, doing football, basketball, baseball, hockey, wrestling, NASCAR. But again, if I didn't read and watch as much film, yeah, there would be things that I would feel probably uncomfortable and whatnot. But, this is my life. This is my legacy. So I have to take it serious. I'm my own boss. I'm the CEO. I'm not Mercedes Monet. I'm the real CEO. Look at Barry Sanders. 11 games, 2,628 yards. Fuck me. Jesus. Barry Sanders. What an animal. When you end up getting almost 3,000 yards in 11 games, he had a couple like high 200 or like 300-yard games. That's fucking nuts. Maddox Madsen, nice scramble. Uh-oh. 12 noon, you know what time it is? Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. After that big play by Maddox Madsen, next play, sack lunch. Ham, turkey, mashed potatoes and gravy, stuffing, cranberry, pumpkin pie, apple pie. Give me seconds. Madsen, pass incomplete. 3rd down and 20. 3 sack lunches each. Oh, incomplete. Chief with $1. Thank you, man. Every dollar counts. Appreciate you. Stacks on stacks. Racks on racks. Little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Help your boy out. Every dollar counts. We're at 25, 75 to go. Let me know what you want to do for photos, and I got you. Again, I'll be up very, very early. Not going to get hammered. I'm not going to wake up late. I'm going to eat dinner, go take Paisley on a long walk, do some reading and some film study, get ready for tomorrow. Wake up super early, take Paisley on a long, long walk. Hopefully not a lot of rain, and enjoy Texas and Arizona State tomorrow at 10 a.m., baby. Madsen, and complete. Good defense by the Nittany Lions. And this has actually been one of the better Nittany Lion teams that we've seen in the last 20 years. Normally, we're only talking about Ohio State and Michigan. But this Penn State team, legit, like if they played Ohio State or, one of the, top dogs, I mean, they lost to Oregon, but they are showing that, they can hang with the top dogs. They're special this year. They might not have as much talent as Ohio State and Oregon, but they fight like hell, don't they? Field goal. Missed! Two missed field goals, and that's the difference. It could have been 24-20 if you made those field goals, but if you don't got a good field goal kicker, that's the end of you. You know who's got a good field goal kicker? Michigan. And if Michigan didn't have a good field goal kicker that could kick 50, guess what? They don't beat Ohio State, and they don't beat fucking Alabama. The defense was awesome for Michigan, but let's not, for a simple fact, forget Michigan's kicker is beast mode. Stay with a tenner. Thank you so much, my guy. Every dollar counts. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little cactus jack, bang, bang. Let me know what the two of you want for photos, and I got you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. We're at 35, 65 to go. 24-14, Penn State. And again, good teams find a way to win. Bad teams find a way to lose. And unfortunately, missing two field goals in a quarterfinal game against Penn State, not going to cut it. You have to be perfect. And again, especially with Genty not having a monster game, you need every single point that you can get. And you got to think, if they would have, made the field goals 24-20, ended up getting a turnover, Genty scores, maybe they win 27-24 or something of that nature, right? But we're never going to know, because those two missed field goals are going to cost them the game. I mean, they weren't going to win the game anyways, but the game could have been extremely close if those field goals were made, or maybe Penn State only wins by 3 or 4 instead of maybe 10, to 17. Oh, man. I've never been so happy with a link that works. Man, I hope I never have to go what I had to go through in that first half. That was hell. Yeah, Washington almost won, man. 4 touchdowns by one receiver, and then they decided to go for 2 because they were down the whole game, and they were just said, fuck it, let's just try to win it. But I think I would have rather just took that extra point and tested my luck in overtime, but again, that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. But I like the heart and the fight, and I was really rooting for Washington to win for another Big Ten Bowl victory to add to the Big Ten total. Singleton run for a yard. Good defense there by the Broncos, but they're starting to feel a little bit defeated. If you end up having your kicker miss 2 field goals when you need to get those made, I mean, but look at the miscues. 2 missed fumbles. Fumble lost in the first quarter. Interception in the fourth. 10 penalties for 75 yards. Guess what? That isn't going to fucking cut it against Penn State. And also, Washington didn't even start their starting quarterback all year. right? With Rodgers, they had the backup in there, again, to give him some reps, and he did well. He threw a pick six early, but then had 4 touchdown passes and ran one in. Uh-oh. Penn State trying to bring back Kijana Carter vibes. What you guys know about Kijana Carter? Remember that name? I sure do. '94 Rose Bowl. Allen run for 7 yards, 2nd down and 3 on the Penn State 41. Yeah, I mean, if you're old like us, then you'll remember. Unless you have a very good memory, or you watch a lot of film, or a lot of YouTube, or a lot of highlights and whatnot. But second down and 3 at the Penn State 41. 7:30 and counting in the fourth quarter. It's been a good one, but just too many self-inflicted wounds by Boise State and not enough by Ashton Jeanty. But again, it's not Ashton Jeanty's fault. It's just the O-line for Boise State has been dominated by the D-line of Penn State, and Penn State's offensive line has dominated Boise State's defensive line. So they've won the line of scrimmage on both sides, and when that happens, you win. 12 noon, you know what time it is? Time for a Boise State sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Aller goes down. Oh, yeah, LeVar was great. Third down and 8. Tyler Warren. Or you go to Wallace. That's where I would go. Tripp's right. You got 2 options to go. Let's see where they go. Warren or Wallace. First down, Nittany Lions. Harrison Wallace, good boy. My Espa strong. Move the chains. Big third down to keep bleeding the clock. Good teams find a way to win. Bad teams find a way to lose. And this is kind of playing out to how I thought the game was going to go. I thought Penn State would win by 10-14, and they're at 10 right now, trying to add on. Shotgun set, Aller, hands off, Singleton, runs into a wall and goes down, loss of 3 yards. Second down and 13 on the Penn State 42. Did we hit 20 likes yet? Tell me that we hit 20. Did we hit it already? I know some of y'all got some backup accounts. Where are we at? We're 1 like away. There's someone in the room that hasn't smashed that like button yet. There we go. Now we're at 20. Thank you so much. Now we try to move to 25 or 30 before the stream ends. Thank you so much to all the new subs and all the people that have smashed the like button and have donated here today. Appreciate you. Happy New Year's Eve. Shotgun set, Aller, hands off. Ooh, baby! And that's it, baby. That's it. We got the 20th like, and then Singleton said, You want to talk about Ashton Jeanty? I'm Nicholas Singleton. 58-yard rushing touchdown. Woo! Wow, and that's the run that we thought Jeanty was going to have. But there it is. Too much Penn State. That's what happens when your offensive line is a little bit better than the other, right? Ashton Jeanty was able to, do it against other defensive lines that were poor, or, taking advantage of Oregon when we weren't really Oregon just yet early in the season. They had a great year, but again, when you play someone that's got a better O-line or D-line than you, sometimes this is what happens. And this is exactly kind of the score that we thought, but hopefully Boise State will get at least a field goal to get it to 31-17 so it doesn't look as bad. What a run. But you know what? Even though that now the game is kind of getting out of hand, it's close the whole game. We weren't not like, in the first college football playoff games, they were like over, and this one, like it ended up being over, but it's over with like less than 5 minutes to go. Now we know it's over, so at least that we were entertained, up all the way until, 4 or 5 minutes left. And that's what we want, right? If it ends up being kind of a blowout, we don't want it to be a blowout until the fourth quarter and there's only a couple minutes left, and then they get that extra tutty to kind of rub it in, right? But we have been engaged in this game, and even though the final score, I don't know if it'll be 31-14, but it was a lot closer than 31-14 before, the last maybe 5-6 minutes. So Penn State is pouring it on. Put some respect on the Big Ten. I mean, the way that Penn State is playing right now, let's be real. Penn State, if they were playing Ohio State tomorrow, they could win. Like, who says no? Like, of course, Ohio State's got, the running backs, and they got Jeremiah Smith and Egbuka, but if you're looking at the quarterbacks, it's pretty even. Like, I don't think anyone really thinks that Howard's that great, and Aller, they're both, like, kind of above average, but I don't think they're, like, superstars, and if you just look at the supporting cast, good weapons on offense for Penn State, more weapons for Ohio State, defenses, both pretty good. I think that it could really be very, very close. Of course, Ohio State would be favored, but who's to say that Penn State doesn't play the game of their life and they beat Ohio State by like 3, right? I don't think that would be that crazy to think based on how Penn State has played lately. I'm impressed. I like what I see. And if Penn State plays like this, they might be able to beat, Georgia or Notre Dame and go to the Natty. Maybe Penn State will be the best team in the bottom bracket. It's either Penn State, Notre Dame, or Georgia. Take your pick, and it'll probably be Georgia or Penn State. And hopefully we get Penn State and Georgia in the bottom, in the Final Four, and Oregon and Texas. First down and 15 for Maddox Madsen. And complete. Roughing the passer. And hopefully for Boise State's fans, they can put up at least 3. 31-17 is much better than 31-14. But the best case scenario, touchdown, garbage time, 31-21, you lose by 10. And then, you lose, but at least you played with pride. And, again, the only way they were going to win this game is if Genty went off for 150 yards and 2 or 3 touchdowns, and it didn't happen. And obviously MVP today, the O-line and the D-line for the Nittany Lions. Facts. You can say Aller, you can say Tyler Warren, you can say Singleton, but without good offensive line and defensive line play, the score is flipped. Maybe one day, obviously with Boise State, that would be a team that we always kind of wanted in the Pac-12 back in the day. I don't know, what the structure is going to be for them, in the future and whatnot. And like obviously Notre Dame being independent, Notre Dame going to the Big Ten seems like almost inevitable at some point, but. Well, even though it's a 17-point blowout, it was good all the way up, into this point. So I'm okay. Like I've been engaged. I've been interested. It's been exciting. Much better than the first 4 games in the college football playoff. Much better. And if they want to make things more fair, no home games for any of the teams. They do neutral sites for all the games. That way it's as fair as possible. Pass interference, defense. I don't think Penn State would be fucked if they played Georgia. You have to remember, this Georgia team isn't, top 5 offense, top 5 defense. They're not the same, Georgia team. They might have been able to beat Texas, and they're still like, a top dog, but they're not as threatening as previous years when it was them and Alabama, Michigan, and Ohio State. You have to realize, Penn State's a little bit better. Notre Dame is a little bit better than normal. Georgia's a little worse. They're the one team out of all the teams left in the college football playoff that are worse than they normally are. Everyone else is a little bit better than they normally have been. They're the only team that's in the playoff now that's a little bit worse compared to what they used to be. You got to keep that in mind. Tipped and complete. But you got to think, Oregon, Ohio State, and Penn State are playing some great ball right now representing the Big Ten. Good tackle by the Nittany Lions. They're playing with passion. They're playing with energy. Now, if this was a regular college football year, I would agree with you, Captain. I would say, yeah, Penn State's fucked. They're not usually this good, and Georgia would thump them. But this year, Penn State's a little bit better, and if they can win the line of scrimmage, who's to say that they couldn't end up squeaking one out against Georgia and winning by 3? I don't think they would win by big, but it would be like they would be a slugfest, right? Oh, nice. Arizona State and Dillingham. And Dillingham is from the Ducks. And obviously before he got his opportunity to be Arizona State's head coach, 5-year extension. Good. He deserves it. Again, they projected to finish last in the Big 12 and got first place. But you're not going to have guys like Scadaboo every year, so you got to make sure you get the most out of him. Yeah, Dillingham, very worthy, for sure. God, I love this college football playoff. I don't like the seeding. Hopefully the committee will get it better and get it right. It feels like unfair that Ohio State and Oregon are playing this early when that could be a natty, like literally. That guy knows what's up. Go Ducks. The one Duck fan, I got that same jersey. Go Ducks. Intercepted. And the game is over. And you got to think, Georgia's got a backup quarterback. It's not like Carson Beck is the best quarterback on planet Earth. Like, you got to feel like Georgia's going to have some fuck-ups, fumbles, interceptions. They're going to have some issues. Just because, Alabama and Georgia were the cream of the crop for all those years doesn't mean that they're going to be the cream of the crop forever. Especially when Saban is gone and, this Kirby Smart team is still good, but again, it's probably the weakest Georgia team that we've seen in a long time. And just because Penn State normally is little brother to Michigan and Ohio State doesn't mean that at some point that they can become a big brother as well. College football is evolving right in front of our very eyes. All right, well, I'm 5-0 with my picks. Hopefully people want some money. Yeah, they need to move the Rose Bowl to be the natty every single year after this year. If they were smart and they wanted to market that game the proper way, the Rose Bowl should be the championship game every single year. And then the runner-up game, maybe Sugar. And then the game after that, Fiesta. I don't know why the hell the peach is in there, but you know. Yeah, too bad with Joe Pa and the scandal with all the sexual abuse and all the shit that happened back then. That kind of ruined Penn State for quite a long time. Third down and 8 at the Boise State 45. Oh, that was a good one. 7 lead changes, 3 in the fourth quarter. Oregon go-ahead field goal with 1:47 remaining. Howard scrambled like a dum-dum, right? 32-31 Oregon, game of the year. Could have that tomorrow. Short game. Now 4th down and 4 on the Boise State 41. Happy New Year's Eve. Appreciate you guys very, very much. Got my Dylan Gabriel Gem Mint 10 Refractor rookie card for Christmas sitting up there on the dresser. I'm ready. I got the custom Dylan Gabriel hoodie. I got the rookie card. I'm feeling it, baby. Yeah, that was a personal choice, so that way he could end up on a playoff team if possible. So that was something that they agreed upon. I don't think anyone really would go out of their way and want Zeke, but, you know, if that's what he wants. I mean, the Cowboys have been average since 1995. I mean, hopefully, you know, certain fans will realize that, but, you know, the most overhyped team every year. Doing the same shit every single year and thinking they're going to get different results. Doesn't work like that. Shows you how special Jimmy Johnson was. Aikman, Irvin, Smith, Dion, Leon Lett. Like, they don't have guys like that anymore. You know, and a lot of them are living in the past. But, yeah, I'm sure as hell wouldn't want to be a Cowboy fan now. Worst owner in sports. Obviously, Daniel Snyder was up there too, and they got rid of his ass. New ownership. Boom. Most wins in the year number 1. Hit on quarterback, hit on the coach. First time they've won 11 wins since Mark Rippon in 91. So it shows you, if you got a shit owner, you're going to be fucked until that guy ends up dying or they sell the team. And that's just the sad reality of it for our teams in baseball, basketball, football, and hockey. You got a shit owner, you're fucked. Then you just got to hope that they do some bullshit and get in trouble with the law, you know, where they have some kind of allegations where they get forced out, like Daniel Snyder finally fucking did with all the bullshit that he was doing, you know, all those years. 25 touches, 94 yards, no tutties. That's not going to lead to a victory. Now, their team will be good, you know, depending on what team he goes to. Obviously, you would hope that he would go to a team that has an offensive line. Short game. Third down and 3. Yeah, this is the best defensive effort I've seen out of Penn State in a long, long time. And just like Louis Riddick said, almost on every play, it's like 4 or 5 Nittany Lions collapsing to the football. I've never seen that. Genty again, short game. Third down and 3 at the Boise State 26. Not enough from the receivers and the tight ends in this game either. It's like if Boise State had a superstar tight end and receiver with Genty, you know, or a better quarterback, you know, that would have made a big difference too. Genty running into a couple Nittany Lions. Good stop. Second down and 10. And we're at the 2-minute warning. How many more yards does Genty need to beat the record? Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us out. Every like, every sub, every share, every dono, it all adds up. $32. I don't know. You're probably not going to get 32 unless he ends up getting half of it on one carry. Oh, baby. I can't wait, man. Same result that you're going to see tomorrow with Texas and Arizona State. Might be a little bit close, and then Texas will pull away, but man, Notre Dame and Georgia and Oregon, Ohio State, they could go either way, and I can't wait to see what happens. Go Ducks. Because at this point, if you're 13-0, and the only undefeated team in college football, and you win the Big Ten championship in your first year, and we lose to Ohio State or Texas or Penn State, Notre Dame or Georgia in the Natty, I will be crushed. To be this good doesn't happen very often. So it's like you want to make sure you capitalize as much as you can because you just don't know when you're going to have that next chance to be this good again. It could be next year. It could be a couple years from now. And it all depends if Lanning stays or goes. If he leaves, we're no longer a top 5 team. We'll be a top 10, top 15 team, but we're not going to be in the same category without Lanning because we're probably going to get someone worse than him after he leaves. So we got to make sure we get at least a natty or two before he goes, unless he ends up being like the most loyal motherfucker on planet Earth and staying with us forever like Bellotti did, which would be great. Like if he turns into like the Nick Saban of Alabama and just stays here for like 10, 15 years, that would be amazing. Because if he stays for 10 to 15 years, shit, the Ducks could end up winning 1, 2, maybe even 3 or more natties in a 10 to 15 year period. Maybe as many as 4 or 5. Once you win one natty, all the recruits start coming. Then you go back to back, and then it gets real crazy. 3rd down and 13, man in motion. Shotgun set. Pump fake. Floater. Down the sideline. He caught it. Go. The 50, the 40. There you go. First down, Broncos. Move the chains. A little, too late, but nice play there. 31-14, Nittany Lions. Shotgun set. Genty running right up the gut into a couple Nittany Lions. Short gain. Well, the clock is tick, 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 tick. You're not going to get the Genty touchdown or any more yards. 30 carries, 104, and that's what, it shows you. You go against a tough defense. You might have been able to do it against Oregon early in the year when we were reeling, but Penn State's defense, money. A couple other Nittany Lions down. Timeout, Penn State. Yeah, and then we'll find out if Saquon breaks Eric Dickerson's record. Records are meant to be broken, but they're very hard to break. Got to have a special player. Man, I can't wait for tomorrow. And hopefully Arizona State and Scadaboo play well. Scadaboo will play better than Genty today. He'll get in the end zone tomorrow. I can almost guarantee it. I don't know how many he'll get, but it's almost a guarantee that Scadaboo will get in at least once. But again, it'll probably get away from them just like this did. I don't know if it'll be a blowout early on or if Arizona State will keep it close early on, maybe even have a lead early on, and then, Texas will just unleash the fucking fury, and then, it will have a score like this at the end. But Oregon, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Georgia, woo! No, that could be special. Both of those games could be decided by 3. I'm just happy I didn't have to fucking refresh this goddamn link or look for a new link. I was able just I had the one thing where I mentioned something and it made a weird noise, like it was about to freeze, and then it went away, thank God, but much more enjoyable for me in the second half than in the first. Little short catch there. First down and 10, Broncos. Yeah, and that didn't win the Heisman. It shows you, the system has failed. When a guy can get that many more yards than Mark Ingram, that many more yards than Reggie Bush, that many more yards than Derrick Henry, all won Heismans, his numbers are 1 billion times better. But then he loses to a guy that, they're trying to portray as like the next Shohei Ohtani. Come on, man. Hunter is a good receiver. He's not as good as a corner, but it is cool that he plays both sides like Dion did. But that's just more of like a social media Heisman where he's more popular, But even though Genty didn't have a spectacular game, he was the guy that deserved it, and they didn't give it to him because he went to Boise State. Again, if he's on Oregon, he wins the Heisman. But they don't want to give a Heisman to a Boise State Bronco. That's sad. Intercepted. Big 10, baby. I feel sad for Genty that he wasn't able to get into the end zone, but that's what happens when you play a team that's got a good O-line and a good D-line, and you get dominated the whole game. You might have been able to, run wild, against a bunch of shitty teams besides Oregon, but when you start to play the big boys, sometimes you get slapped in the mouth and you realize, damn, we are outmatched. And again, you can have quarterback, running back, wide receiver, or tight end, but if you do not win the line of scrimmage, you will lose every single time. Well, I love you guys very, very much. Happy New Year's Eve. And for some of y'all, it's going to be Happy New Year's in just a couple hours. 8:13 right now for Sarah, 10:13 for some people on the East Coast, 11:13. I got to eat some dinner, take Paisley on a long walk. Final score, Penn State 31, Boise State 14. I figured it would be a 10-14, kind of point game. It ended up being 17. And again, it was a blowout, but it wasn't a blowout until the last 5 minutes. I really enjoyed this game, and hopefully every game tomorrow will live up to the billing as well. Hopefully Scattaboo will go off to make it a little bit closer than expected. And I will be live streaming Oregon and Ohio State. And you best believe there'll be people here either rooting for Oregon and me to win, or obviously rooting for me to lose and Oregon to lose. So I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very much. Shout out to all the people that like, sub, donated, commented, share. Sarah, thank you so much for your help. Same thing with you and Captain Oreo. You guys are always helping out and with the mod duties. I appreciate you, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. And Happy New Year. And I got one question for you. Well, talk sports like us. Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Happy New Year. Tomorrow we stream at 2 p.m. Pacific. Ohio State Buckeyes, Oregon Ducks, Rose Bowl. And I'm out. Okay.